This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This episode is brought to you by Casper Mattresses.
Doing, that sounded disturbing, but it was... that was me bouncing on my phone. That was me bouncing on my phone, Casper mattress.
I thought it was the other thing.
Okay, right.
But we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, anyway, Casper mattresses. They're our sponsor. We like them.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, official podcast of comicbookmovie.com, where we talk movies, comics, TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host Nick Mason.
I'm here. I've got a blanket on. Got a dog on the blanket.
Boy,
ready to go. Oh, jeez, all right, steady on, mate. Bloody hell.
Should we get straight into the news?
Is there good news to be had?
Do you want The Mummy to have another film?
No.
Then this is good news, Mason.
Oh, hello.
So, though it did do well overseas, right? Internationally, The Mummy did 142 million.
Okay, which is
good.
Okay, good.
It still wouldn't have made us money back on marketing costs or anything as of yet. But that's it's bad-ish, I guess.
Okay, great.
But it didn't do well enough. It did like 32 in the US, which is look, it's not good.
Right.
They want a lot more.
Sure.
Considering the money that they pumped into it. It's speculated that the cost for that movie might be as high as 180 million, and then marketing on top is normally double that. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of bus ads, wasn't there? There was a lot of pictures of Tom Cruise on a bus with a mummy behind him. Mm-hmm. Just me?
Well, they're in the pocket of big bus. That's why there's a bus in the movie. That's why there's that bus stunt in the movie.
Very good. So they didn't have to pay for that.
No, they're gonna have to. Morally.
Certainly. Yes, absolutely.
But every Tom Cruise is going to have to be like, he's about to get into like his limo or get on his motorcycle.
Sweet.
And somebody's going to come out from a corner and they're going to be like, "Hey Tom, remember we did that big favor? You're riding the bus, buddy. You're riding the bus, promoting the bus." And he's like, "Oh, right."
Does he have to sit up the front?
Yeah, he has to sit up the front like a nerd. Bad for him.
Bad for him. Well, speaking of him though, in particular, there was an article on Variety which just hammered the shit out of him.
Oh, right.
Did you read that? Where it was like he came in and he took over the production.
Oh, it was,
and he wore all hats and whatnot.
I looked at the title of the article in a tweet, and I did not read it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll definitely get to that before this episode, and I didn't. I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't.
Okay,
no.
that's odd.
No.
But look, to summarize, it puts most of the blame for the movie not doing well on Tom Cruise coming in and making it a Tom Cruise project as opposed to what it was going to be before, which was probably also not going to be good.
Well, I mean, again, this was one of the most Tom Cruise films ever, I feel.
Yeah, sure.
Again, and I did mention this last week, and it's kind of a spoiler, but not really unless you've seen it. He does...
So it's not a spoiler if you have seen it.
Correct.
Okay.
But also, we're a week in, and if you haven't seen it by now, you're probably not going
No.
to. Well, what I was going to say is that in this movie, he does kiss a woman against her will to death. Which ultimately is the purest form of Tom Cruise ever committed to film, I feel. When you think about it, you know
when
what
you
I mean?
distill his essence, that's what it is.
That's what he's all about.
But look, I don't think it's... Look, I don't doubt that he came in and Tom Cruisified it, because he's a big star.
But also, you got to expect that, don't you?
Yeah, that's what he does, and he's done that before with movies, and it's been really successful. So I don't think, and generally speaking, one person doesn't ruin a movie.
And also, it was Tom Cruise's. It would have been Tom Cruise's idea to be like, "Hey, let's do a stunt where we're in the plane and it's really zero gravity."
Well, he was going to do that Mission Impossible, and he brought that to this.
That's
he was
right.
Like,
but it wouldn't have been his call to go,
"I'm going to kiss a woman to death."
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been his call to cut around that so it looks terrible. It would have been like, put in as long as shots as you need, kind of thing. So it takes two to tango and at least three people to ruin a film. Tom Cruise, the director.
The audiences
as a whole, yes.
We're to blame it away.
That's right,
because we didn't see it enough.
Yep.
This is my favorite quote from the article, though. The actor personally commissioned two other writers, along with Macquarie, who's done Mission Impossible, to crank out a new script. The script envisioned Nick Morton, which was his name in the film.
There you
apparently.
go.
Yeah.
The things you learn, hey.
The script envisioned Nick Morton as an earnest Tom Cruise archetype, who is laughably described as a young man at one point.
That's right.
That was a bit of a problem, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, not that he doesn't, like, he looks 40. But knowing who he is and how old he is, it is weird.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, another thing that struck me after having watched the film and reviewed it on the podcast last week is that he's supposed to be he's in this long-range recon patrol, but he has a side business in stealing antiquities. Yeah. What's he do with them? Where do they go?
Black market, I guess.
But where?
Egyptologists? I don't know.
But I mean, like, if he goes into like an Iraqi town that's been blown to pieces, and he steals something, where's he he can't sell it to anybody in the town. They blew the town up.
I guess he's going to Dubai and he's going auction.
Does he drag a big sack behind him filled with antiquities and
just jangling away?
And they're like, what's in there? And he's like,
guns
and American flags. And they just salute him and move along.
Very good. Anyway, it's probably dead, but do another one if you want. I guess you might. Wait, are
you saying that the Mummy films are dead, or are you saying the Dark Universe is dead?
I'd say there's a very good chance that it is dead. But look, if they're gonna go ahead with it, the next one's Bride of Frankenstein, which we talked about this last week,
which is probably Angelina Jolie.
Well, that's the idea. But if you were her, would you do it?
No, you'd cut and run, and then it's Eva Green.
Exactly.
And then she might cut and run because she's got some weird Danish television thing to do, and then it's Helena Bonham Carter again.
That's right. Who would do it?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, good luck, the Mummy. We'll never see you again. This is big news for Justice League, which is doing some reshoots at the moment. Danny Elfman has taken over. Yeah. He's going to get his horns into this film. So, because Junkie XL, that's his name, isn't it? Is there a way to say that, like a cooler way?
No.
Junkie XL?
No. I mean, he's sometimes JXL.
Right.
When like more when he's more PG.
Yeah, sure.
He did.
That sounds like the extreme version of Justice League.
Right.
JX.
Okay. Hang on. What's this guy got to do with it? Because he's the guy.
He was doing the music.
Right. He's probably most famous for that Elvis Presley remix of Little Less Conversation.
That's a good song.
And does he do movie soundtracks right recently?
Yeah,
he's done a few.
He did Batman Superman.
Is that what he did?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, maybe he didn't though. You know, maybe he did elements of it with Hans Zimmer. Anyway, he's out. I don't know, for whatever reason, he wrote a thing on Twitter or whatever that was like, it sucks to go, but what? He wasn't like, I got booted. Maybe there was just this,
I'm from Holland. Is he from Holland?
I don't know.
I'll look him up.
Tweeted him.
He's from the Netherlands.
There you go. So, yes.
Isn't that weird? Anyway. I've received delightful feedback on our South African accents from last week. It's mixed.
Okay,
no, you know what's about 70-30 positive.
That's a fresh.
Not necessarily accurate, our accents, but they're entertaining.
I'll take it.
And many of our South African listeners have emailed in to tell us, yes, they do enjoy doing their own accents.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It would be crazy if you didn't.
We got an email from someone, and I'm afraid I don't have your name right here, but who said that he is from South Africa, and whenever he and his girlfriend watch Age of Ultron, they do Andy Serkis's accent. so it's double South African.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic. Is that a good South African
Cuttlefish.
accent?
Sorry, no. Apparently it's not. It's fine.
Okay,
it's not great.
Okay, fair enough.
But he's doing the best he can.
What do you think about Elfman coming back to the comic book universe? He did Batman '89.
He sure did.
That's a big deal, mate.
Yeah.
Some say that's more iconic than the Dark Knight score. It's more, you can hum it.
That's true, you can, yeah.
And he also, obviously, he did the Batman animated series as well, and he did the one that goes, as Johnny Depp runs up a spiral staircase.
That's very
Have you
true.
seen that one?
No.
That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what do you think about that?
I think that's fun. And I think people will, again, if he weaves in some of his old stuff, maybe he weaves in his old Batman theme or what have you.
Do you think he will?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Yeah. Because I think we've got to the point where...
I don't think he's above it.
No, certainly not. But I think The Dark Knight couldn't have referenced it, but now we're kind of 2 reboots away.
Exactly.
I guess you can.
And The Dark Knight was too real-worldish.
It's very real-worldish.
And I feel that this new universe is definitely...
It was the realest thing you've ever seen,
Exactly.
mate.
This one is much more cartoony, and I think they can just throw in some Elfman. Why not?
Sure, why not? Throw in some Elfman. Mm-hmm. Great. Okay. I wonder if he's going to change much of it, or he's just going to tweak it. I don't know. He's got time. It's out in November. Anyway, we'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
I've just got here... for this next bit of news, Flatliners?
Oh, yeah. So this is the remake. So there was a Kevin Bacon film in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Julia Roberts in that? Who cares? Anyway, what do you think of this one? I might be thinking of Mystic Pizza.
I haven't seen Mystic Pizza.
Me neither.
Yeah, Julia Roberts is in it, and Kiefer Sutherland too.
I knew it. I didn't. I found the first bit of the trailer viscerally upsetting. Why?
Like, I don't know, just the heart-stopping thing and the whole... Because
that's good then.
The idea behind it, I guess, is they're a group of young scientists and they want to temporarily kill themselves.
Right.
And then the other members of the team bring them back and in order to determine what happens after you die.
Yeah. And then they get powers and demons.
Yes, or something.
That's not what happened in the last one, was it? Having barely remembering it?
I just remember them all going mad, but who knows?
So is that how that movie ends?
Don't know.
Great. Anyway, you looking forward to this? I like the cast.
Yeah, the
It's got
cast is
Diego
pretty good.
Luna.
Well, I don't know.
It's got Alan Page.
Yeah.
It's got others probably.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm indifferent.
Same, right?
But I thought, why not bring it up?
Yep.
Somebody cares. And somebody also cares
Now
about...
you can replace that question mark at the end of Flatliners with a few dots, 3 dots.
Sure.
Flatliners.
I'll do it.
Yeah, okay.
I'll put it in the description.
Okay, great.
In the timestamps. We got a director for the new X-Men film, X-Men Dark Phoenix, which will take on the Phoenix Saga.
Again, great.
Yeah, again, but maybe better.
But now there's going to be some alien stuff in there. There's going to be some
Seems that
Shi'ar.
way,
Because
yeah.
the Queen of the Shi'ar, isn't it? I think?
Jessica Chastain may join as Lilandra.
There we go.
Which I may have written that wrong. It's a lot of L's.
That's pretty much Lilandra, yeah.
Okay, good. Empress of the Shi'ar Empire.
That's the one.
Finally, something that's not just fighting other generic mutants.
Yes, good.
We're going to get generic space aliens.
Yeah, we are.
I'll take it, man. I'll absolutely take
Same.
it. It's about time they just went somewhere out of New York.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know they have, but I mean, like, other than a forest or whatever the things we've
Shopping
been seeing.
mall.
Yeah.
I want to see some of those alien shopping malls,
You
know?
better believe it. Do you think they're going to do it more kind of Guardians? They're going to do a wacky thing? Or aliens going to come to Earth, Transformers style, and be like, this is our planet. Where...
Ooh, good question. I really hope they go into outer space. Because if it's just on Earth again, it's just a weird lady in a metal helmet.
Sure.
Just might as well be a mutant. Who
May as
cares?
well, but yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Also, can we please bring back...
Black suits.
No, I was going to
suits.
say Cyclops' dad, the space pirate.
Yes. Corsair?
Corsair is his name,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Do you think he could pop up?
I hope so.
Well, in Guardians, they're doing father stuff, aren't they?
Yeah,
so
right.
maybe they'll be like... Well, that's the thing. We've got the new... So this is all the new X-Men team, which are now kind of the old X-Men team, because the first class was from like 2011. But and also, so we got McAvoy's back, Fassbender's back, and Jennifer Lawrence is back, which I did not expect. Because I know she didn't have to do it. She was out of contract.
Sure, yeah.
But I don't know.
Maybe on the set of Passengers, Chris Pratt's just like, just take it.
Yeah.
Just take the money.
Is it? Maybe it'll be in space this one. So
Yeah, right.
you'll have a
You
better
love
shot.
space. You're in space right now.
Yeah, this is shit what we're doing now, but you're still here. Take
Yeah,
that
right.
into consideration. The most interesting thing of this to me, Mason, is that Simon Kinberg is directing. Never directed a film,
Yep.
but he's had.
Who
his
is he
hand-
again?
He's a producer over at Fox, and I'm going to do a thing here. It's a game that I've invented.
Okay, I'm ready for
Get
this
ready
game.
for
I'm
it.
ready, okay.
I wrote this down when I was really tired, so this might not work. But it's called Okay. So I'm gonna
okay, right.
I'm gonna
okay.
give you a property that
Yep.
he's worked on, and you have to give it one of those 2 responses.
Okay.
Or whatever you feel in your heart. You know what I mean?
Alright.
It's not binary. It's not
Well,
one or
in
the other.
this case, it is because you've given me the 2 options, and I've immediately just ejected all other possible options from my brain. So for the next hour or so, that's all I'll be able to give you.
Excellent. Okay, here we go. He wrote X-Men: The Last Stand.
Nah?
Oh, really? You okay with that?
What were my options again?
Was that good or bad?
That was bad.
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Maybe I should have called it good or bad.
No.
This is working.
This is working for me, yeah.
Okay, so he wrote the last time they did Phoenix Force.
Yeah,
He's
right.
directing this one. He produced First Class. He produced Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. He wrote and produced X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute, you've got off script.
You made the rules and then I broke the rules.
He wrote and
You made the rules, I braid the rules. That's how this works.
he wrote and produced Fantastic Four.
Wait, which one?
2015. Does it matter?
Oh, boy.
For 2015. He produced Deadpool.
Yep.
He wrote and produced X-Men Apocalypse.
Ugh.
He produced.
I had to remember which one that was.
Okay, right. And he produced Logan.
Oh.
So it's ups and downs, mate, isn't it?
I think this... See, that's the thing, because
The good projects of this are backed by good directors.
He's another one of these bullet dodgers. Who's the other
Yes.
guy we constantly talk about?
It might be this guy.
It might be this guy, exactly right. He's a guy, I assume maybe because
He's always like, we want to make the best Fantastic Four that we can, but then he's like, if it doesn't work, next.
it was Trank's fault.
Yeah.
I
don't think he is. Yeah, he doesn't pin blame. He's not one of those guys. But yeah.
But I don't know, because it's always so vague as to what producers in Hollywood actually do.
This guy seems fairly heavily involved, and I think, as far as I know, because while Trank was Trank in his own career on
sure.
Fantastic Four, I think Kinberg stepped in and did a lot of the directing and rewrites and whatever. I mean,
terrific.
Yeah, but maybe that was a train wreck.
Regardless,
I don't know. So
because if he's in terms of a producer, if he's just a guy who's like, okay, we need 6 trucks, and he has he makes the calls and he signs the contracts and he gets 6 trucks or whatever.
I think he's more creative.
Okay, right.
He's a consultant for Lucasfilm as well on some Star Wars stuff. He's written some of the Rebels episodes.
Wow.
He's got fingers in every pie, Mason. Whether or not you want to eat that pie. Anyway, my point is,
yes,
I don't know how this is going to go.
Same.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't know exactly what he's done in particular, and this is such a.
His skill set again could just be shifting blame.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
getting jobs and then shifting blame.
Yeah. So
and if that's his role, I salute him because he's done
good,
a lot of stuff and he's still working. So
kudos. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm interested to see. This is of the X-Men films coming up. This is the one I'm least interested in.
Yes,
because we're getting New Mutants, which is going to be a horror movie, and we're getting. What's the other one we're doing? We're getting another Deadpool, which
should be fun.
So, I don't know, we'll see.
And now here's generic X-Men.
In space?
Original recipe X-Men.
That's right. But in space.
Vanilla X-Men.
Vanilla X-Men.
Sea salt X-Men.
I like sea salt.
Yeah, me too. I also like vanilla. I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay,
that's
good.
You know what I mean?
I feel like sea salt is the more exotic salt. You know? If it was just salt.
Not ground salt.
No, not a peasant salt. No. All right, this is going to shock you, Mason.
To the core.
James Gunn might be changing Marvel movie canon.
Ooh, what does that mean, though?
The game's not in play for that anymore, if that's what you're doing. The game we were playing earlier.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Just so we're clear. To serve a story point.
Tim Allen, if you're listening, how accurate is my Tim Allen grunt? Email in, any Tim Allens out there? Ooh. Okay.
To serve a story point in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it's something in the background of the mugshot scene from Guardians of the Galaxy 1. So remember that when they're all lining up and then all that kind of information is scrolling down the side of who they are and what they're about.
What their dealio is.
So he's going to change something from that. He's thinking of changing something from that scene. We don't know what it is exactly. What I think it is personally, I may be wrong. It mentions one of Rocket's associates is Lila. You know, the otter.
Oh, yes,
woman,
sure.
That they're friends, and they both were created on the same planet or whatever.
Okay.
So I think that they're going to bring. I don't know this. They're going to bring in that character.
Yep.
And if they're already associates, then
it's going to be hard for him to be like, "Who's this?"
Yeah.
Right. Look, I strongly feel this is a whole lot of nothing. Like, I appreciate that he's like clearly he's a guy who engages with the fans. And he knows that certain obsessive people will have read all that information.
Because most people have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
There's like other little things. This is just from memory. I didn't go back and read it, but it's, like it mentions Peter Quill's got a universal translator in him. So that's why
sure.
Nobody's speaking English except him and whatever. So there's stuff like that. But look, if it serves the story, just do it. Who cares?
Exactly, yeah.
And look, it's also a universe where the continuity is already broken. You've swapped out actors.
Yeah,
They're different people movie to movie. So it doesn't matter.
And also, there's no guarantee that all the information on those screens was accurate. So the Nova Corps could think they're associates, but maybe they're not.
Maybe they're not, Mason. Yeah. Very good. Anyway, do what you want. He's a good director, so whatever he wants to do is fine.
Do whatever you
with
want,
me.
James Gunn.
I mean, even if it wasn't fine with me, he'd still do it regardless.
He's rich and powerful.
And is not aware of it.
He probably hunts people for sport like a lot of Hollywood actors.
Can you imagine being
directors.
that rich where you could hunt people for sport?
Yeah.
What a luxury.
That's a real Leo DiCaprio move, I feel. Hunting people for sport. Who else would hunt people for sport?
Good question. Spielberg.
George Lucas, we've established, does on
Yes,
the Steel Wars episode that I was on quite recently. Yeah,
Michael Bay would. But
Yeah, he would, wouldn't he?
he'd use like rocket launchers and
Yeah, right.
landmines and shit like that. Yeah.
He'd give them a gun,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, "Oh, great! I get to." Unlike a lot of the times when I've been hunted for sport by Hollywood directors, I get a gun, and then Michael Bay would roll up in a monster truck with a rocket launcher, and you'd be like, "Oh no, this will be harder if anything." I've survived so many directors hunting me for sport.
Do you think if you did hunt somebody for sport,
Yep.
in the back of your mind, you'd be like, one day this is going to turn. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, and the hunter would become the hunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
so, but is that worth it in the end?
Yeah.
As a man who hunts someone for sport? Is that part of the thrill, knowing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're that bored where you're hunting men for sport.
Yeah.
Or women.
Oh, we used to,
women.
it's
Women
2017. Women and men can both be hunted and hunt for sport. I don't know. Like you would have to assume. I would hope that the people that hunt other people for sport are more honourable than the people who hunt like defenseless animals for sport. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
The idea that
so
you would.
so you have like a nice meal before.
I think there would be a code of ethics because you're like, well, I want some prey that fights back. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
sure, yeah.
Why are we talking about this?
I like that. Have you ever read the Most Dangerous Game?
No.
That short story about hunting for sport?
No.
It's very good. Give it a read, mate.
What is the most dangerous game? Is it pigs? It's piggies.
What's piggies?
You know, like a piggy.
Like just having a pig?
Yes.
Owning a pig.
Is that the most dangerous game? A pig?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, or a hippo. Hippo is the most dangerous game.
They're
right?
very dangerous animals, yeah.
yeah.
Apparently teacup pigs, no good. Real mean. Like they're cute.
Oh, really?
But they're shit.
Because they're spoiled, probably.
Yeah, they're spoiled and they're all inbred probably.
Yeah.
That'll fuck you up. All right, what do we got here? This is from 4chan.
Oh, no.
Anonymously.
Oh no.
So take this with 1,000 grains of regular salt, regular table salt.
Okay.
Man of Steel 2 is in development. Jeff Johns and Zack Snyder finished writing a story in November. Multiple writers have been approached for the screenplay, including those from Watchmen and 300. Brainiac will be the villain. Supergirl will be introduced. What do you think of this thing that's probably not true?
They've certainly added in some elements from the Superman mythos, haven't they?
I feel that way, yeah.
Agreed.
I like if this is true, which it isn't. But it may also turn out to be true because this seems like a good direction to take them.
It may even be that there are people in a Warner Brothers boardroom scrolling posts on Reddit and 4chan and whatever going, we need something for this new movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Brainiac Supergirl, that sounds like a good combo.
Well, there's that. We've talked about this recently. There's an animated movie that's based off the comic, both names of which I cannot remember.
Uh-huh.
One's called Superman Brainiac. The other one's called, I can't remember.
Brainiac Superman.
Unbound. Superman Unbound. It's a great story. So any version of that would be fantastic.
Cool. No, but because they're taking it from the small screen,
Yeah.
the small stakes, small screen, what they are going to do is when they bring it to the big screen, is they're going to change it by wrecking it.
Is that right?
That's the general. I feel that's the general rule because you can't just have it. You can't have. There was the comic book, and then they based the cartoon on the comic book quite accurately.
Sure.
Well, there's people don't want the same story. They want a bad version of that story.
So they want to take something that they love.
Yep.
But make it shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
It's pretty good, right?
Anyway, good. If that happens, great. If it doesn't happen, that's fine also, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why I brought it up. But the only reason I wasn't scrolling 4chan. I don't even know how 4chan works.
Right, no.
But I saw it on a number of reputable sites. I went, well, we're less reputable than those guys. So that's
very true,
okay
yeah.
for us, right? The next Transformer...
4chan listeners, if you're on 4chan and you listen to this podcast...
What is it? What are you
is
doing?
it? How accurate was our
Reddit?
description of 4chan if we don't know what it is? Email in.
Yeah. Is it an app? Can you get it in an app? Can you get it as an app?
I don't know if there's an app.
Okay. Because Reddit keeps trying to push an app on me on my phone.
Ooh.
I'll never get it.
Wow.
Anyway, never read it. God.
There you go.
The next Transformers film, which will be a spin-off.
We haven't got the new one yet.
This week though, Mason.
Oh, jeez.
We're going to see it.
Wow.
We're really excited.
That's really
a couple of guys
learning
out on the town.
details about the new Transformers movie before the current Transformers movie is even out is real depressing when you think about it. We don't know her personally, but Lindsay Ellis, formerly the Nostalgia Chick.
Sure, yeah.
She now does like YouTube videos that are about a adapt like evaluating film techniques on like big blockbuster cinema and stuff like that. And she
Okay.
did a video a while back about why you can never remember what happens in the Transformers movies. And it's quite a lot, and it's very detailed, and there's a lot of specifics, but the general gist of it is because there's way too much happening, and every there's nowhere to find focus in any particular scene because there's a billion things happening on every. Anyway, people should check that out.
So it's like if you're being hunted for sport.
Yes.
If you're shot with a regular handgun,
Correct.
You know it's that one bullet that pierced your
right.
heart.
Mm-hmm.
Shot with a scatter shot
Shotgun, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same result. You're still dead, but you don't know which one got you.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got to start hunting for sport.
I know, right?
Anyway, but
Patreon goal. If we get to a certain amount, we will hunt one of you for sport.
we don't want the tables turned.
Yes.
Not on our first one.
What? Not on the first tier, but if we get to another tier, you get to hunt one of us for sport. That's
very
the key,
good.
right?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So basically, if we get to a certain level of our Patreon subscribers, we pick somebody at random to be hunted for sport. So if then they want to get out of it, they have to donate more, and then they can hunt us for sport. That's how it works.
Oh, that's very good.
I think it is, yeah. That's the noble way to do it, because we're
think
men of
so.
honor.
Yeah, we are. And
Anyway, Transformers news.
well, before we get into that, we've got a caravan of garbage up this week
Ooh.
for Transformers.
Yes, that's right.
It's an older game.
Yes, but it's an oldie but a goodie.
No, it's probably the worst. Not having played them all, but I've played some bad ones. This has to be the worst by a long shot. So if you're on Patreon, that'll be up now. If you're not,
Yeah.
it'll be up sometime this
If
week.
you've ever played like Transformers War for Cybertron or Transformers, what was the other one?
One's Fall of Cybertron.
Fall of
one's
Cybertron, War for Cybertron. Well, if you've ever played those, just know that this is 1 million orders of magnitude worse than those games.
I really enjoyed those.
They're
I've still
good.
got them. They're right there,
Yeah,
Mason.
great,
Feel
good.
free to borrow one.
I won't.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Anyway, the Transformers spin-off will be set with Bumblebee. Will be set in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And with what's her name from True Grit and whatever.
Megan Fox.
No.
Haley Steinfeld?
Yes, Haley
Right.
Joel Osment Steinfeld. Interesting. I think that's fine. I hope it's. You know what would be? I think I've said this before. What would be hilarious if this current Transformers movie tanks,
Yep.
and so they cancel all future projects, so we never get a non-Michael Bay one.
Ah.
We never get something different.
But there's no way it could tank, surely.
Yeah, well, people thought the Mummy was bulletproof.
No.
Nobody thought that.
But I think if we'd gotten 4 or 5 Mummy movies in a row that each made $1 billion,
Yeah.
we'd never think that Mummy 6 would tank.
People thought that about Pirates.
Yeah, right. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how movies work.
Yeah, I know that. I don't think either is true. No, I don't.
That's a relief. I thought this was going to be the end of the podcast. Where I'd go, listen, I don't know how movies work, and you'd just point at the door and I'd have to silently walk away. But it's okay, you knew I didn't know anything, so that's good. It's great.
I am interested to see something else.
Yeah, right?
Even if it is set in this shit universe that I
Yeah.
hate and everyone's an idiot.
Yeah.
And all the Transformers look the same.
Yeah.
But it's going to be established in this new Transformers movie and it's in all the trailers. Bumblebee's been around for ages.
Right.
He's fighting World War II. He's doing all sorts of shenanigans.
Yeah.
He knows Anthony Hopkins.
It's a shame that this is going back to the 80s, which is the origin of the the original
I think
Transformers.
that's intentional.
But none of the iconic Transformers besides Bumblebee are going to be in it.
Yeah.
Like you want a Optimus Prime, and you want a
Hot Rod.
sound wave turning into a tape deck.
Yeah, man.
That's that. You want all this. You want
Well,
a blaster turning into a tape
Yeah.
deck.
Bumblebee doesn't talk, though.
Megatron turning into a hypercolor T-shirt. That was the 90s. Starscream turning into
A big pile of coke.
big pile of cocaine.
That was big in the 80s.
Yeah, that's huge.
That was big in the 80s.
Yeah, I get it.
Sure, yeah.
Hmm.
But the thing with Bumblebee is because he doesn't talk,
Yeah,
you can do that. You can just introduce. Who cares?
I guess so.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No one, like you said, no one remembers anything from these
doesn't
films
matter.
anyway.
I'm pretty sure I've seen all 4, but maybe I've only seen 3.
No, you've definitely seen 4. I don't know that.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
great.
Okay, all right. Yeah, look, I if it's got that 80s Transformers vibe to it,
Yeah.
then maybe give it a whirl, yeah.
Give it a bloody whirl, mate. I had something else to say about it, but I can't remember. What was I going to say?
Transformers. Bumblebee.
Yeah, Bumblebee.
Oh, here we go.
Is it just me?
Probably.
Is it just me? Bumblebee, except for like one moment in the first movie, he always uses a radio. I never know what the fuck he's saying because he speaks in sound bites,
Yes.
but I can never get the flow of it.
Right,
Maybe
sure,
I'm
sure.
an old man and my ears aren't working,
Right.
but I never know what he's saying.
James, if it's too loud, you're too old, all right?
It's not too loud. I just
Nah, mate.
I don't understand
If it's too
it.
old, if it's too loud, you're too old, mate. All right.
Do you understand it?
I don't remember. I remember at one point he plays "Who's Gonna Drive You Home." That song that's on there.
Yeah, no, I get if it's the gist of what's
Yeah.
going, like a feeling or a mood. But if
Yeah.
he's saying a sentence and it's just like every 3 words it turns into
Right,
something else, I never know what he's doing.
It's not really important though, is it? Because there's always a human character there to be like, so what you're saying
The
is
cube,
Yeah, exactly.
the Allspark.
I'm gonna give the cube.
Anyway,
What's our old mate Shia LaBeouf up to recently?
who cares? I hope he's dead.
It's weird that they didn't bring him back for this one. I mean, they bring him
Why?
back.
Why would you bring him back?
Well, they bring him back everybody else.
Yeah, but he's not a draw.
I guess that's
Maybe he
true.
will come back.
But it is.
I should just point out, I don't really hope he's dead. I said that.
Yep.
I don't mean
You said
it.
that in anger.
Yes, that's right. But go on, sorry. So you think they should have brought him back?
Yeah,
They brought
why
back,
not?
They brought back a Josh Duhamel and a Tyrese Gibson
Exactly. Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah,
Josh Duhamel isn't a draw. Wahlberg is.
yeah.
But I mean, who's bringing? Is it just fans of Las Vegas?
But it's not like a situation
The
where
TV series Las Vegas.
I remember
featuring
Las
Josh
Vegas.
Duhamel.
Yeah, I know him. Tad Hamilton's own.
Yeah.
But it's not like a situation where like it's Fast and Furious, because you probably remember this, because I think we might have been in the theater together when they played the trailer for Fast and Furious 4, which brought back Paul Walker and Vin Diesel.
Yes.
It's not very good. People were really excited to see
Yeah, I remember
if they
that,
were in
yeah.
it. And then when they appeared, everyone cheered.
Yes.
This is not that.
No.
Nobody cares if he's back or not.
That's true.
Nobody's calling for it. Imagine if he came back for
But then why? Would anybody boo?
Maybe.
Maybe people would boo. Okay,
Yeah,
you're right.
no
all
one's
right.
going to boo Josh Duhamel.
That's right.
I feel.
Be like booing some wallpaper. Boo! I don't care for that fine shade of beige. Boo! It upsets me. No, you don't care.
That's right.
Boo!
Yeah.
Boo! Vanilla and sea salt. Boo!
Which we've established are fine. They're quite good.
They're good,
There's
I
a
like
reason
them.
they're classics.
That's right.
Okay. We've got to talk about
What's
E3.
everything salted these days?
Everything?
Everything's salted.
You don't like it?
Nah, just regular caramel, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like sea salt in my chocolate, mate. You get a dark chocolate with a,
Here we
with a
go.
sprinkling of sea
Here we
salt.
go. Save it for your segment as a father, all right?
That's not a father's thing.
Yeah, it is.
That's a man with good tastes thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. E3. We have to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about it.
Must we? All right.
We talked
What are
about
the highlights? What are the highlights of E3?
It's always embarrassing in terms of they can never read the room in terms of like tone or what audiences want in presentations.
Okay,
Just
sure.
the most.
Are they boring or are they?
No, because it's trying to be radical and try to kind of appeal to gamers, but
Right.
nobody understands it.
Is it
It's
corporate types?
phenomenal.
Is it corporate
Yes.
types being radical?
Yeah, it's amazing how they don't get it.
Right.
Like when you look at like Marvel,
Yes.
they understand it in terms of Kevin Feige comes out in a hat and he goes, "Hey, he's got some movies coming out."
It's a Marvel hat.
Yeah, it's a
Studios
Marvel hat. It's
He's got
all-
the new logo on it.
Yeah, it's got the
everyone-
new logo on it. Then he goes, "And Robert Downey Jr.'s here." Everyone, it's all
Yeah,
you need. But they come in
that's
and they go, "Hey gamers, hey dudes, what's up? Do you like Need for Speed? Well, fucking get ready for this." It's never. It's
It's a
always
Need
the-
for Speed amiibo.
Yeah, it's always the worst.
Yeah.
The worst thing ever. Anyway, but the games can be good.
Here's a Skype with Adrian Paul, who's in the Need for Speed movie, and it just cuts to him, and he's like, what? And then it just cuts out again.
Is there anything for you that I've got a list here? But is there anything for you that stands
Look,
out?
I listened to our friends over at Filthy Casuals, did
Yeah.
an E3 special. It was 3 hours long. I listened to it over the course of several days.
Yeah, I listened to it. It's great. If
It's
you want a good recap,
but I
that's
cannot recall anything that happened in it, if I'm honest with you.
we talked about.
They did a great riff on something, but I cannot remember what it was.
They did, didn't they?
It was something in our wheelhouse. It,
It
made me
was.
very upset.
Because the riff the week before was on Egypt.
It was
And this-
Spider-Man.
It was Spider-Man. That's right. It
Spider-Man.
was very good.
Yeah, okay, it was
well, let's
good.
talk about. We talked about Battlefront last
Yeah.
week. Looks great. Because they're actually making a complete game this time.
Mm-hmm.
But Spider-Man, what do you think? Will you get a PS4 for it? Because you're kind of waiting for the tipping point.
I want to see what the villains look like. Did we see all the villains?
Did you not watch the footage?
No.
What?
No.
They showed some gameplay footage, Mason.
Ooh.
Got some web swinging. It's got the Arkham combat.
Yeah, right, okay.
It's got Mr. Negative.
Well, it says that it's got the
Kingpin.
Arkham combat.
No, it has. You see it.
No, but at my end, that's what I'm talking about. Unless seeing it and going, oh, that looks Arkham-y is not the same. Like I've played a lot of games where they're like, oh, it's got a it's got Arkham style, they go, oh, it's, you can move and counter and it's so fluid, and they're clearly implying it's Arkham style combat, and then you play it and you're like, this is clunky.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, I feel like it's the same where, like with, like maybe like an iPad or an iPhone, it's got a certain flow to it.
Yeah.
And it's, and then you switch to like maybe an Android tablet, and it's kind of, it's got some lag to it.
Right, okay,
like it's
gotcha.
similar. Like the ideas are similar.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. You
Okay,
know what
fair
I mean?
enough.
So like if they nail the web swing, if they nail the combat, maybe.
By the looks of this demonstration, which also looked very scripted, even though it was
See,
gameplay,
that's what I'm talking about.
and there's a lot of QuickTime events. Like Uncharted, where you have to run up a thing, and then they do QuickTime, but they disguise it really well.
That's also like life.
It is
Sometimes you have to run up a thing.
You do have to run up a
Yeah.
thing.
Sometimes it's a Kate Bush song.
Sure.
Running up to here, and it doesn't matter.
I hope the QuickTime events are, because like there's a bit where like you'll have to run up a crane, but I hope you actually
Running up that crane. Anyway.
where you have to actually press forward to do it and then
right.
hit the QuickTime
Uh-huh.
like kind of buttons. I don't just like I don't like watching a cutscene and then hitting it at the exact moment. I want some other things happening.
I did see a brief clip. This wasn't from E3, but I just saw it on Twitter. And it's Spidey attempting to rescue somebody from a burning building, and the QuickTime event fails, and he just falls flat on his face, and the building explodes. It was very fun.
From the new game?
Yes.
Very good. Yeah. But no, the web swing looks great. I
Yep.
mean, it's from a good company. So this will be, I would say, the best Spider-Man game that we've
What
had
is
in
the
a
company?
long time. Insomniac.
Okay.
Who've done other things that I can't remember.
Terrific.
But they follow me on Twitter.
Ooh.
And also like a million other people. So it's...
Oh,
it means
did you say
nothing.
literally anything nice about them at some point?
I don't remember. Yeah. But there's a new God of War.
Oh, yeah.
Santa
Is
Monica
this a
Studios.
reboot?
Yeah, it was sort of. It's like a continuation where they fight the Norse gods. He fights the Norse gods. I kind of went off. I didn't play Ascension, which I think was the last one, which is a prequel. I don't think I've played one since the second handheld one. But I used to like him, but I'm kind of like, I'm kind of done with these. But this, now he's got a son, Mason, and I can relate to that because that's a love that only 50% of us could understand.
He's lying out there, people without kids. He's lying to you. Anyone can feel anything, any emotion. If anything, all his emotions have been blunted by the fact that he hasn't slept in like a year.
But God of War looks good. Everything's kind of looks like a big comment coming out of this is everything looks Uncharted-esque.
Right,
so
sure.
God of War now looks like God of War, but like Uncharted or Last of Us. There's another Prison Break game which just looks like The Last of Us, except you break out of a prison. It's a co-op game, split screen, that you can only play with somebody else, which I think is a massive mistake.
Oh, it's 2-player only.
Why wouldn't you just... I don't want to play with somebody else.
No, exactly.
Ever.
No.
Anyway.
If they're better than you, it's embarrassing. And if they're worse than you, it's frustrating.
annoying, yeah. But
and if they're exactly the same...
I guess that's...
Terrific!
What an experience! Mario Odyssey, people lost their mind. Nintendo.
He's
doing things.
possessing people's bodies now? Is that what
He's
Mario
using
does?
A hat.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed, the new one's called Assassin's Creed Origins. What a title.
Yeah,
Why would
great.
you call it
Terrific.
that? Anyway, it's set in Egypt. I won't buy it because it's all the same shit. Even though it does look good or whatever, but I'm sick of open world games. Why does everything have to be kind of like... You draw out like Horizon Zero Dawn draws out the gameplay because you're just running across a map for a lot of it. And I know they have fast travel and all those kind of things, but I like an experience where you're moving forward and I'm not running past the same lake 1,000 times.
Correct, yeah.
I mean, some do it really well. Breath of the Wild apparently does it very well. I haven't played it, but god damn, I'm sick of fucking open world games. Man.
The era of open world is done, is what you're saying.
I don't think, no, it's ramping up.
For you.
We're stuck in it.
Oh, no. The last, I reckon, yeah, I mean, the last 10 games I think I played have all been open world.
Yeah.
But you're right, they are kind of samey. Yeah.
They are same.
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Okay.
There was a cinematic.
Yep.
They're like, we're just starting this now. They also had a cinematic in 2008.
For Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yes.
Is this Peter Molyneux?
No.
Okay.
He did that. He did the Xbox Boy. Do you remember that?
No.
We did a bunch. He did Fable, didn't he?
Yeah, and he did Black and White.
I don't know what that is.
He did a whole bunch of games in the 90s.
Doesn't everybody... Well, he was revered for a period of time, but
Yes.
then it turned out that everybody hates him.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. Remember they had that Xbox camera boy who you could talk to?
No.
It was like a virtual boy in your screen. You'd be like... His name Milo. They never released it. But you'd talk to him and he'd draw pictures for you and...
Like Rob the Robot.
in a way. But they never released it because I don't think the tech was there.
Yes, Peter Molyneux created Populous, which was like a god simulator back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Dungeon Keeper, Black and White Theme Park, Fable
He
series.
did Dungeon Keeper.
Yep.
I love Dungeon Keeper.
And Curiosity, What's Inside the Cube.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
What was
right.
in the cube?
I don't know, let's find
Because
out.
it was a series of puzzles, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it even was. I think it was just clicking. I think you could just go on the internet and click this thing.
And then one person got...
Players tap just to dig through the layer and then reveal the next layer, and the last person won a prize.
What was it?
Don't know, let's find out. This is very tense. What do you think it would be? If it's anything less than $1 million, I'll be very disappointed.
You're hunted for sport.
Yeah. Completion, here we go. There was a video.
Great.
The winner was given the option to either keep the contents of the cube to himself or share it with the public. He opted to share. What is it? Just tell us what it is.
I would have kept it.
Yeah.
I would have absolutely kept it.
The contents of the cube included the ability to be the sole all-powerful digital god within an upcoming game, which has never been released. Called Goddess, which I assume is a sequel to Populous in some
that's
way.
amazing.
Incredible.
Oh, I love it.
No, wait. Okay, so this guy, the winner, has received little to no contact from the game company. There have been recent departures from the studio. Henderson, who's the winner, likely won't be able to collect any portion of the game at all. And once he does, it'll only be for 6 months or even less if another player overthrows him, who then... it doesn't matter. Anyway, Molyneux explained that the person in charge of keeping in contact with Henderson left the company and no one was ever reassigned the position.
So that's it.
Yeah.
That was like, I remember seeing, I think it was in an Angry Video Game Nerd video.
Yes.
There was a competition where in a magazine, in like a Nintendo Power magazine, where you could be in the Mask 2.
Right.
But then
Son of the Mask.
But Son of the Mask came out at like 2008 or something.
Right.
So does that person get a role in Son of the Mask? Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I would have kept that though. You better believe it.
Okay, I think Goddess came out, but the guy was not in it. So,
Great.
terrific.
What a
Anyway, what a journey we've been
What a
on.
journey. Shadow of the Colossus is getting a remake.
Okay, you love Shadow of the Colossus.
I'm a big fan
Yeah.
with modern controls. I've been meaning to get it again, but I might just hang out and see how this one is. And there's also a Sons of Zombie Anarchy game. It's a motorcycles with zombies.
Now, Shadow of the Colossus was a game that was all boss battles essentially.
Yeah, like 12 or whatever it was, yeah.
Do you think that has been done a number of times since then?
I don't think I've had boss battles, and obviously I haven't played every game, so don't throw poo at me, Mason. But
All right, I'm going to put this away.
I don't think I've had an experience with boss battles that good since.
Okay.
Because it's only boss battles.
Yes.
So everything else that you don't faff about. It is open world, but
Yep.
you've got these very specific 12 or whatever, 13 it is, it might be 16 that you have to take down.
Right.
And because they're each individual and crafted so well, then it's...
But do you think this game is going to have to raise the stakes? Because like if I play a game and then there's I go into this this open plain and I see a monster in the distance and I run up to it and it's just it's 100 feet tall and it's made of wood or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of people are going to be like, well, we've kind of seen this before?
Yeah, potentially. But I think it did it so well that it would be, if you've never played it, it's worth going back to.
Okay.
Worth going to. And if you have played it, then it might be, yeah.
And is this any of these people the same designer?
I
the
don't
same?
think so, because the
right.
team kind of disbanded. Or the main guy disbanded after The Last Guardian, which apparently was, what was it? Getting a dog to throw barrels or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I never played it. Great, good, excellent. I think anything else from E3 that stood out for you, Mason?
No, because I don't remember any of it.
We're not a video game podcast, are we?
No.
But we are sellouts.
Yes. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's do an ad.
The Casper mattress, Mason, it's obsessively engineered at a shockingly fair price.
Boing.
It combines supportive memory foams to create an award-winning sleep surface with just the right sink and just the right bounce. With over 20,000 reviews and an average of 4.8 stars, it's quickly becoming the internet's favorite mattress, and that's based off Casper reviews, Amazon, and Google reviews. They do free shipping to the US and Canada. That's very reasonable if you don't mind me saying so.
Oh my.
Try Casper for 100 nights risk-free in your own home. If you're
up there in the frozen north and you're like, how will I get one? I'm up in Canada. That wasn't a Canadian accent.
Wasn't it?
No, I
that
don't
was
know
a
what
man.
that was.
I don't know what that was. A man who'd been hit in the head, I think.
I think he was falling down a well.
How will they get my mattress in this well?
I know what. He was sliding down some sort of ice flow is what was happening there.
good.
Yeah.
If you don't like it also after before the 100 nights risk-free, they'll come to your house and they'll bloody pick it up.
That's right.
It's designed, developed and assembled in the US of A. And also, we've got an offer code. If you use the offer code TheWeeklyPlanet, all one word, when you go to Casper.com, you get $50 off.
Mm-hmm.
That's The Weekly Planet.
That's us.
You have one.
Yeah, I do.
It's good.
Let me tell you this. Boing. No, it's great.
Erections all round.
No! That's me playfully bouncing on the bed.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Great. Well, look. Yeah, good mattress. Get one if you want one.
Get it up you.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but it's not recommended. I think that's also...
I'm going to give it a whirl.
Yeah, sure.
Comes in a very small compact box.
If you're feeling ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
We threw out to listeners for topics for this week because we didn't have anything.
That's true.
Well, we've got a list, but it's, we're always, we're willing to,
We thought this one was
feedback.
particularly relevant.
Absolutely. This is from Clayton Andres. Did I said that wrong? Anders?
Probably
A-N-D-R-E-S.
I'm going to guess Anders.
Okay. And he mentioned movie sequels or franchises that were set up
Yes.
but never happened. And he sent a particular article.
Yeah.
Which
Look,
is
if we can reset one more time.
Sure.
So every year we do some awards.
Yes.
They're barely relevant to anything, but every year we do an award for where the game
It's
was
mostly
on.
making fun of things.
It's mostly making fun of things, if we're honest. Mostly us.
Yeah.
But every year we give one out. It's called the award for when the game was on, and it's for a movie or a TV show that most ham-fistedly attempts to sort of put together a sequel, build a sequel or a franchise.
My favourite thing. I love it.
So it's been the original award was given for Dracula Untold.
Yes.
And then we've also given it to Independence Day Resurgence.
Yes.
One year.
Last year?
It would have been last year, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. But this is the era of you can't just make a movie and have it stand up on its own.
No.
Because nobody's going to fund that. You need to say, here's our movie, and if it's successful, we can put 10 more movies on the back of this.
Which is so weird because you'd think from the movies that have become franchises, generally they're great standalone films, but they build interesting enough universes where people want to know more about it.
Independence Day.
Like John Wick, for example.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could have been a standalone film.
Yep.
It's a tight story, but the universe itself, you're like, oh, what's going on with this hotel? Where are all the other assassins or whatever? I still haven't seen John Wick 2. I really got to see it. But
Well, it didn't get a release. It did.
I think it did. My dad's got free tickets. We're going to go see it. But then I made him see The Mummy last week instead.
Now he's never going to trust you
No,
again.
he won't. Even The Matrix. The Matrix got bad sequels.
Yeah,
But the
right.
reason it got sequels because The Matrix stands alone.
It's got a beginning, middle, and end.
Yep. And, and the universe is interesting. So a lot of these are just like, what are you doing?
Right,
Why are you doing
sure.
this? Like, this is clearly just an attempt to do another one. My first memory of this ever happening was Masters of the Universe.
Yes, that's right.
It's from the 80s, but I would have seen it in the 90s on VHS.
Oh, yes.
Where at the very end after the credits, I'd never seen this before, after being thrown into a pit like the Emperor from Star Wars.
That's
that movie
right.
is Star Wars, by the way. Well,
Yeah,
it's like Return of the Jedi. But Skeletor, played by Frank Langella,
Yes, the great man.
pops his head out of the water and goes, "I'll be back." Looks directly at the camera and does it. It's probably on YouTube. And it never happened, obviously.
Is that what happens?
That's exactly what happens.
Okay.
Why don't you look it up right now?
Okay, I will.
I don't mind.
I'm going to. Because it's not that I don't trust you, but I don't.
I feel like you don't trust me.
I don't.
Do you think we should also include sequels in this?
Yeah, I think so.
And that's not like when they get 3 or 4 in and then they promise one, because that is a franchise.
Yes, yes.
But when you look at like the Amazing Spider-Man,
Oh, totally, yeah.
I think that's a.
But I also think that it's often the second one where they get more ambitious.
Oh,
the first one is a standalone. The second one, they're like, we could do this forever. Like, we've got 2 in the bag. Let's say we're going to do 10, and then...
We'll never stop.
That's right. Okay, he says, I'll be back.
I knew it!
All right. I just remember his hand coming up from the...
His skeletal hand?
I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah,
Clearly.
you think of Terminator 2.
I'm thinking of probably that.
You watched it in reverse.
Yes, exactly, yes.
Very good. Have you got any memories of this happening? Like for you?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Masters of the Universe a lot.
We could talk about that a lot.
Why didn't that come back is the question,
It probably
I
didn't
guess.
make enough money. It also wasn't very good. Also, it was barely a He-Man movie.
That's
also,
true.
it was set on Earth. Also, Courtney Cox was in it. Also, Dolph Lundgren.
She got 9 seasons of Friends.
Yeah, but not off the back of this.
No, it was off the back of Masters of the
Was it?
Universe. Did you not know that Friends is set in the Masters of the Universe
The
universe?
the Masters of the Universe-verse.
The Masters of the Universe-verse, exactly,
I
yes.
had no idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that this
Gunter's not a human name. Gunter's from Eternia.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
But I think having not seen this in a very long time, I think the real problem with this is that it's set on Earth.
Yeah.
It takes it from Eternia, which is a weird desert world, which is also what Eternia is in the cartoon, and they bring it to just boring old. Maybe it's.
But
Cleveland.
that was what you did.
That's what I know. It's what you did, but that's not interesting.
There were only 2 options for kids' movies back in the day.
One
was that the characters they loved from their cartoon came to Earth. The other one was a kid got sucked into a cartoon in a television.
That's true.
And they went in the cartoon world. They were your only 2 options.
Yeah. I've told the story. I know I have. I've told the story before about the kid in my street who tried to convince everybody that He-Man lived with him.
Oh, sure, right.
I mentioned that story, haven't I?
Yes.
Do you want a brief recap?
I would love a brief recap.
Okay, so-
Also, tell me what his name is.
Bryce.
All right.
Is that his name? Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, this kid who moved into our street, and it was fine, but it was one of those kids who just was a bold-faced liar.
Sure,
you know
yeah,
those
we all
kids
know
that,
one. Yeah.
everybody knew that kid who was clearly lying.
They were clearly lying,
and
and
you could
eventually
clearly catch him out.
and eventually everybody just let him have it.
Yes.
Like they were just
it's
like
just easier.
you were just like, sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
And eventually one of them becomes the president.
Ah.
Got him. Political. Anyway.
You've been gearing up for that for months,
That's
haven't you?
right.
Yeah. But so basically, he mentioned one day to everybody in the street that, oh no, He-Man lives with me. And everyone's like, you're an idiot. What are you talking about? And his kid was like 10 as well.
Sure.
And I tried to quell the situation. I was like, everybody calm down.
I'm quelling this,
I'm
guys,
quelling
all right?
this, if you don't mind. I think he obviously means that he has a cardboard cutout of He-Man.
Right.
And he's like, no, that's not what I mean. Literal He-Man lives in my house.
Why does he live in your house, man?
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
And so then one time when I went to his house, I'm like, hey, where's He-Man? And he said, oh, he went to work. So he just packed up his little briefcase.
Not went to work fighting Skeletor, but went to his
Yeah,
job.
he's got a desk job.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
that's that story.
Wow.
Anyway, what a dickhead.
Masters of the Universe, I've just realized, was a canon film.
Yeah, it was
From
supposed
the
to be
Canon
something
group?
else. It was supposed to be like Spider-Man initially. We've
Right,
talked about
okay.
it.
Yeah.
But
They produced such films as American Samurai,
yep.
Street Knight.
Probably American Sniper.
They did Walker Texas Ranger TV movies.
Why does everyone not know that Chuck Norris
American
is a bad bloke?
Cyborg.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the budget from that Spider-Man movie went into He-Man.
Oh.
It might have been something else. I don't know.
Terrific.
It might have been Cyborg 2 also.
A lot of the future of these films sort of disappears in the midst of time.
Yeah.
Some people are always like, oh my God, I swear that this movie turned into this or whatever. Like a movie that I should enjoy it more than I do. Did you ever see The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai in the Eighth Dimension?
I didn't, no.
Across the Eighth Dimension.
Is it like
rather.
a Star Wars knockoff?
No, it's got Howard the Duck vibes, but it's better than Howard the Duck.
Sure,
But
yeah.
it's Peter Weller, who you will know best as RoboCop.
I do know
And he
that.
plays Buckaroo Banzai, who is
I just got to see a picture of this. Keep talking.
yeah, you'll be like, phew, that's 80s. But he's an adventurer, and he's a physicist, and he's a surgeon, and he's like a race car driver, test pilot, and he's also in a band. Like
Is this pre-RoboCop?
I can't remember.
84.
Yeah.
Might be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so he's this all-purpose super cool guy, as you can tell if you're seeing a picture of him, right?
I absolutely
And
can see
he's
that.
just like, and apparently he's gone on all these crazy adventures.
Oh, he's parasailing.
That's
he's
right.
Saluting and parasailing
Yeah,
in front of a
exactly,
green
yeah.
screen. Amazing.
Yeah, and so he's he's this.
Is this based off anything? It's like a 50s serial or something?
No, but it kind of has that vibe.
Yeah, it
it's
does.
kind of, it's fun and it's silly and it's so basically it's got John Lithgow in it.
Yeah.
So it's basically his father was he was also a physician, and he was sort of raised to be the best person you can be, kind of thing.
Sure.
But his father attempted to build this kind of
Jeff Goldblum's in this.
yeah, oh yeah. There's all kinds of crazy
keep
people in
going,
this.
yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is
Yep,
in this.
uh-huh.
So go on.
So
Christopher Lloyd's in
oh
this.
no.
No, sorry. No.
Yeah. So anyway, his father attempted to build this overthruster device, which is like this dimension busting sort of engine that can, you can use it to put it on your car, and you can use it to drive through solid objects and through dimensions and stuff like that.
This
and
is pre Back to the Future as well.
yeah. And so Buckaroo Banzai finally perfects his father's device.
Right.
And then he encounters aliens. And then John Lithgow, who has been in a mental institution prison for decades, who used to work with his father, like he hears about it and he's like, I'm gonna get revenge for some reason, and then his brain is infected by evil aliens and
Okay.
it's a whole situation. Anyway, Buckaroo Banzai has he's got a team of equally cool 80s dudes called the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Nice.
Who hang out with him during all his adventures. And anyway, this movie ends with... Anyway, I should give it another watch. It's pretty fun, but I haven't watched it in years.
Life's short.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's not.
But it ends with Buckaroo Banzai will return with Buckaroo Banzai against the World Crime League.
Great.
Right? But it never did.
No.
And so I mentioned that because the rumor was always that script, Buckaroo Banzai against the World Crime League, was turned into Big Trouble in Little China.
Ah.
But I don't know if there's any evidence of that.
Okay.
But that's
interesting.
Yeah, right? That's a movie that I ultimately should have gotten a sequel. I don't know. It did not do well as far as I know. It was one of those movies
It's got some interesting ideas.
Yeah, I think it was a movie that it cost like 20 million and then it made like 6 million or something like that.
Okay,
So
right.
that's never coming back. Although the original screenwriter and director did write some prequel
pornography after
some pornography. They've written some prequel comics. There's an origin comic.
Okay.
And there's a couple of spin-offs that were illustrated, I think, by the storyboard artist from the original movie.
Okay.
So, which I have not read, and I don't know if I ever will. But
I don't think Peter Weller works as a lead in this kind of role.
Right,
As this all-round cool 80s guy who can do everything. Because
he's
got a little body and a big head.
He always looked kind of like a dad as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Like if you would put somebody like, I don't know, Van Damme, for example.
Yeah,
No, that's too early for him.
Uh-huh,
But
yeah.
I
I think a few years ago, Kevin Smith was like, I'm going to bring this back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then I think the studio that purchased the Buckaroo Banzai property was then sued by some like the original owners.
Right,
and it's all in development hell, and so he walked away from it. So
Right, okay.
So that's never coming back.
Oh, well,
but
what do
again,
you do?
I don't know. I feel like it's the kind of thing also that was way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Like if you went now, okay, there's this guy and then there's aliens and
It
there's
was
science
tanking
and there's,
before movies tanked, mate.
and there's a crime league and there's all sorts of stuff. You'd be like, oh, that sounds like a...
It sounds like a lot of this is borrowed from comics.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Marvel Universe kind of thing, and people would be on board with that now. But back then, they'd be like, this is too much.
Right,
This
yeah.
is absolutely this is too much.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds interesting. I'll never watch it, but I might watch somebody's review of that. See
Sure.
what the hell's going on.
You should watch. If you watch it, put it on silent. Put it on now.
Yeah.
Just go to YouTube and type in Buckaroo Banzai closing credits,
Okay.
and just watch it on silent. It's pretty good.
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Oh, this one's good quality. It says brackets good quality.
All right. Nice. Well, that's what you want.
What the hell?
Is stuff happening?
They're making out and they close the blinds.
Yep. Right.
And then it's cut to an alien.
Is anybody walking? Is anybody walking through a canal?
Nah.
What's going on?
It says, watch for the next adventure of Buckaroo Banzai. Buckaroo Banzai against the World Crime League.
Okay.
That's very
There's
bold.
there's a bit at the end of the movie
Oh, wait,
where...
here it comes.
Okay.
There's a rope going over a dam.
Yep.
And he's walking
Yep.
to the edge.
Yep.
And now he's walking. He's Paris. That's the best thing. Why does he have the rope? So for those watching at home, there's a guy with his shirt open. So there's a cowboy. What is this?
They're the Hong Kong
Oh,
Cavaliers.
they're his friends.
They're his
Okay.
friends.
He's dressed like Matt Smith, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So he throws a rope over this. It's like a very generous slope. And
Yes.
so very forgiving.
Yes.
And he kind of abseils down it, but that's incredible.
And they're just hanging out with
They're
those
all
friends.
hanging out
also, I'm
together.
pretty sure that's the canal from Terminator 2.
Yeah, it might be.
Hmm.
Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
Also, Mike from Breaking Bad's in it.
Yep.
I just saw that. What an era.
Yeah.
What an amazing era to be alive. We should quickly talk about Independence Day.
Okay.
That movie, the sequel, set up a movie that I want to see, as opposed
Right.
to the movie that we got.
Doesn't it though, right?
Which
Exactly.
I thought was fine. Like, I don't know why people thought it would be amazing. But yeah, they're talking about an intergalactic war.
Yeah.
Like an Earth's going to be on the council because they've proven themselves. And Jeff Goldblum's like, let's do it. And
Yep.
Liam Hemsworth's like, I'm in this also.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the girl's like, I'm a girl.
Yeah, who played
And
her?
Brent Spiner's like, I'm crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, Remember they were talking about trilogies. They were like, we'll get this one will do well. And then we'll do our trilogy.
Sure, right.
Maybe make the good one.
Also, there's going to be 3 more.
Well, maybe this is going to be the first of 3. Ugh. Yeah.
But see, I feel that the movie you're thinking about, this imaginary sequel or trilogy,
sure,
it's good in your mind.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah,
there's no way,
right.
based on this movie that we got in the Resurgence, there's no way the next one would be better than that somehow.
No, certainly
absolutely not.
Yeah. How did Fantastic Four end? The last one.
Oh dear. It ends with them all.
Negative zone. Oh, they stand over a.
They're standing over
crater?
No, they're at a facility. They're given a facility by the government.
Oh yeah,
to
that's
do their
right.
Fantastic Fouring,
Yeah.
and they're like, we got to come up with a name for ourselves. We could be 4 cool dudes. Let's be the Amazing Bunch.
And Johnny Storm just takes a real swipe at Ben Grimm for no reason.
That's right.
He's like, what are they going to call you? The thing that no one wants? Why would you say that? That's a really mean...
real rude.
Like, and you hadn't had any proper interactions in
That's
the movie
right,
up until that point. You open with that?
Yeah.
Weird.
Anyway, so then they're like, did I say Fantastic Four? Maybe they don't.
I think it's one of those, one of them has an idea.
Well, then I hope the sequel is just him going, Fantastic Four, and then it's 90 minutes of him saying 4.
And he's got the lung capacity for it.
He
'cause
does,
he's Reed
that's right,
Richards.
yeah. And just things happen around him. It goes to stop motion. It goes to time-lapse photography.
It's like that Peter Gabriel,
Yeah.
what's it called?
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer, yeah. Oh, very good. Do you remember the end of Godzilla 1998?
Oh, is that what we're all...
What else is there? Like, do you want to see those characters
Well,
again?
did it set up a
Those
sequel
grown men-
necessarily?
Yeah,
I mean,
well-
there's no way you make a superhero movie now and it isn't a sequel. But
Yeah, the story was
there
that-
isn't a sequel brewing. But
There was going to be an X-Men Fantastic Four movie. Apparently, it was written.
Oh.
So
that means it's out there somewhere.
well, as soon as that movie came,
Unless all the hard drives were destroyed.
it's very possible. As soon as that movie came out, like even before it was really kind of like getting kicked. They were
Yes.
like, oh no, this is a separate universe.
Right.
Like they made that clear. And I guess if it did well, which it was never going to,
Right.
they could have just said dimensions. And
Absolutely, they could have, yeah.
So no, there is no way we'll see that version of the Fantastic Four ever again.
No.
Not a chance in hell.
I mean, obviously now we can't because Michael B. Jordan's has been cast in
That's
Black Panther.
true, yeah.
So we can't have him again.
No. And Jamie Bell's Tintin. So what do you do?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Are they doing a live action Tintin?
No, they did an animated one a few years
the
back.
Spielberg
The
one?
Spielberg one.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then Peter Jackson.
You're saying that just because Jamie Bell looks like Tintin?
No, he is Tintin.
Oh, he is Tintin. Okay,
I think he's more suited to Tintin than he is Ben Grimm.
No, he's a big old bruiser, that
I
guy.
love that. That was, he did okay considering what
right.
it was. Weird choice. Especially when you see him before.
Yes.
And he's smaller than everybody else by
right.
quite a lot.
Yes.
And he's protecting Miles Teller from bullies. And there's that, we did a whole episode on it.
Yeah, we did.
There's also that moment where they enter a school science fair.
Yeah, and you're
But
like...
they're all 28,
Yeah, right.
But they're also up against really little kids, so it looks like they're even older than they actually
yeah, right.
are.
Uh-huh.
So weird. Also, in that
Yes.
science fair project, they should have won. But they were like, this isn't a magic show, because he teleports a car away.
Yeah.
But even if that was magic, that's better than
Anything else there?
egg carton
Better-
boat or whatever the
Or
hell
the
other
paper
people have
mache
made.
volcano.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Godzilla 98, though. Do you remember
Yes.
the end of that?
Yes, I do. See,
One egg!
But that does have a sequel in the animated series.
Okay, fair enough. And also one of the Japanese Godzilla movies. They
Oh,
kill
sure,
it.
in Godzilla 0 or something.
Yeah.
So at the end of Godzilla 1998, Godzilla lays some eggs.
Yep.
Then they kill Godzilla.
Yep.
Then they blow up the stadium where all the eggs are in.
Yep.
But one egg survives. And then
Yep.
do we see the claw coming out
No,
of the
it pops out.
pops out?
They're
yeah.
raptors, basically.
So
yeah.
so that actually was spun off into the animated series in which there is one egg. There's that egg hatches. That Godzilla imprints on Matthew Broderick's character,
Right, yeah.
and thinks Matthew Broderick's its mother. So
I knew this.
Matthew Broderick can order it around.
So it's a giant-sized Godzilla?
Yeah, it grows to Godzilla size very quickly.
What does he do with it?
He fights other monsters with it. Because
Right.
in the cartoon, there's actual other monsters,
Okay. See, that's like having like...
and he's got the atomic breath.
Oh, good.
because it mutates further or something.
Oh, good. Excellent.
very
Well,
vague.
that's what you want, isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly. I watched that series, and all I did was just wait for him to use the atomic breath.
You watched the whole thing.
Yes.
How many episodes was it?
It's a cartoon where it's like the Blazing Sword. He uses at the end of every
Right, okay,
episode.
gotcha,
Or
right.
she. What's Godzilla?
Asexual.
There you go.
Because they can lay eggs. Mm-hmm. Man, what an era. I hated that movie so much, even at the time.
I think I was in that point in my life where I wanted to like it.
Right.
Like it was so hyped up that I'm sure I convinced myself that it was good on some level.
It had the best trailer. We've
It
talked
had the
about
best
it before.
soundtrack.
Yeah. P. Diddy.
Not since Judgment Night have they fused rock and hip hop together.
Not until Jay-Z and Linkin Park, mate.
That's
so-
very true. Yeah.
Man, you got another one?
Let me think of another
many
one.
here.
Okay.
It's got Hitman 2007. I don't remember. Oh, by the way, spoilers for all of these, but it doesn't matter because they're all dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's got Hitman 2007 here. I don't remember what happened at the end of that, but I remember what happened in, I want to say Hitman Absolution.
Sure,
I don't
right.
know whether that's called that. Whatever the last, that might be a game.
No, Hitman Absolution is a game.
Right.
The first one was just called Hitman. I think the
Yes.
second one was called Hitman Agent 47.
Okay, great. Or maybe it was just called Agent 47?
What was the name? What happened at the end of the first one?
Hitman does...
Which I've seen, but I can't remember.
Wait, I don't remember what happens at the end of the first one, but I did see the last one.
Oh, I see,
And
right.
It's shit. They're both shit.
Great.
But at the end, after he does all his hitmanning,
Yes.
a door opens and there's another version of him, and they both kind of draw guns, and that's the end.
Do they hold them sideways?
Probably. That's
nice.
what I did then. That's not to say that that's how that movie ended. Mm-hmm. But no, that's... Oh, yeah. That's a chore, that movie. What, got another one?
Well, we were talking about Master of the Universe earlier.
Oh, we're going back to that, are we?
Yeah, we're going to go back to that because I believe they called it like it was Conan but a crushing bore or something like that. Because there was two Conan movies. There was Conan the Barbarian,
Destroyer
Conan the
and-
Destroyer,
yeah.
right?
Mm.
Uh-huh.
I
Conan
haven't seen the second one.
Well, Conan the Destroyer ends with Conan kills everybody, obviously.
Yes.
And then the newly appointed queen's like, why don't you join me, Conan, and we'll rule the kingdom together? And he's like, nope, I've got more adventuring to do. I'm off to be more Conaning.
Eat a dick, I'm out of here.
That's exactly what he said. And there was going to be another one called Conan the Conqueror.
Right. Which they might be making though.
Really?
I don't know if this is a dead. I
With-
think I know they
with
are
Arnold
making-
Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Well, see, that's the thing because
Conan ends the original one where he gets old.
yeah, I know.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
Well, I was going to say that Arnold Schwarzenegger dropped out of that, but if Conan the Conqueror was eventually rewritten as Kull the Conqueror.
Oh,
With
Kevin Sorbo.
the great Kevin Sorbo.
Well, it's
yes.
the same universe, isn't it? Isn't
Yeah, it's
Kull
the-
like a precursor to Conan?
And they were both created by the same guy.
Yeah.
They're like, what else have you got? You
What's
created Conan the Barbarian. What else you got?
Isn't it the guy who did John Carter as well? Is it
Yeah.
the same guy?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
What's his name?
William Rice Burroughs.
Arthur Conan Doyle, correct.
Yes.
Oh man. Have you seen both of those? Both of the
Robert E.
Conans?
Howard.
Okay,
Who's
right.
William Rice Burroughs? Tarzan?
No, maybe. Who did I say? I might have said, if I said Edgar Rice Burroughs, that's Tarzan. If
yeah.
I said Arthur Conan Doyle, he's Sherlock. Which did you say?
There's too many names. It's not relevant.
Doesn't
Lee
matter.
Harvey Oswald, I said.
Very good. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Sean Connery is killed.
Yes.
His last movie he ever did.
Is that a burst out of the... Is that a hand
I
burst
think it's
out
a
of...
great... Might be.
Yeah,
it's
right.
at least a grave shake.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But that was kind of like what The Mummy is. Just a whole lot
Isn't
of
it though?
characters come together, but it doesn't really work on any way, even though the source material or previous versions of this have clearly worked really well.
Yeah.
But I remember viciously hating that movie.
Oh, yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do hear a lot of kind of like, it's not that bad. It's got some good ideas, but
No, it's bad.
no good.
That
Was the era that Richard Roxburgh went to Hollywood for two
That's-
movies.
yeah, that's
He
right.
did that. He did Van Helsing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But that, like, people would be like, oh my God, that's such a fresh take. Unless you consider any number of comic book properties that have done that so many times before.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there was that. There was also, like, the Marvel had the Howling Commandos, not the World War II Howling Commandos, but the Howling Commandos that were just a series of monsters put together as a team. DC had the
Right.
Monster Squad.
Right, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And obviously this is based on Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which was much bigger in scope and much less dumb and much less...
Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, much
less cars.
Much less X-Men
Yeah.
knockoff. I remember at the time they
It was
started...
even- it was even called LXG.
It was called LXG at one point. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how they advertised it. Because it had to have an X in it. Just to somehow trick all the grandparents that were buying their kids' movie tickets. to go to this movie? I don't know.
Oh, it looks really expensive as well, from memory. Like, it was a very expensive film.
Wow.
Yeah. God, no good.
Mm-hmm.
We should watch that again at some point and do an episode. Something to do with it at some point.
I think it's going to be excruciating if we were to watch it again.
Maybe do a commentary.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I've opened that door now, haven't I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Well, Van Helsing.
Yes.
How does that end? Because they were going to do a few, weren't they?
Yes.
He kills a Dr. Jekyll at the start,
Yes.
and then Kate beckons.
Does he?
Yeah.
Is that what happens at the start of that?
That's quite good. I remember the intro.
Doesn't he kill Frankenstein at the start of that?
No, he kills Frankenstein during the movie.
Oh, I see.
Potentially.
Yes.
Or he doesn't. Yeah, because they use Frankenstein's machines to create Dracula.
There's a Van Helsing TV series.
Based on the...
No, I think it's modern era.
Okay.
Anyway.
Like a newer one.
Yes. 2016.
Okay.
It's on Sci-Fi Channel.
There you go. Let's check it out.
Oh, do I have
Never
to?
got him. But there's a bit where he fights... Yeah, at the start he fights a Dr. Jekyll, like a giant version of him, like a hulked out kind of version.
I have no memory.
He cuts
of
off
that.
his arm, because remember he's got those circular blades
That's right.
that he has. Yeah,
Yeah.
it might not be Dr. Jekyll, but the first 5 minutes of that movie I remember being quite
It's in
good.
black and white.
Yeah.
It's got that real monster movie kind of
It
vibe.
does. It absolutely does. But
Yeah.
obviously it never panned out. It's not, look, I don't think it's that bad.
Yep.
It's fine, I guess. But I can see why they never made another one.
Look, I can't remember. I couldn't remember how it ended. So I've just looked it up on Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just read you the last couple of paragraphs.
I'm ready. Which one's this? Sorry. Which one are we doing?
Okay, Van Helsing.
Gotcha.
The werewolf Van Helsing and Dracula battle.
Yep.
So if you recall, everybody turns into a Dracula or Van Helsing at the end.
I remember.
Dracula tries reasoning with the werewolf, but Van Helsing bites Dracula, who dissolves into a skeleton. Etc. Van Helsing kills a lady. Van Helsing returns to normal, stricken with grief over what he has done. Some other stuff happens.
She's in the moon?
Yeah, she ascends into the clouds
Okay.
in a funeral pyre. While Frankenstein's monster rows away on a raft out to sea, Van Helsing and Carl, who's that, ride off into the sunset. I assume Carl's his helper, but who knows?
I don't remember Carl at all.
Carl. David Wenham's Carl.
Oh, really good. Okay,
he was
great.
Carl.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so...
Oh, that's right. He was like his Igor man.
Yeah, right, sure.
I remember that.
It was his monk-like weapons maker or something?
Yeah.
okay,
he's
right.
Q.
Yeah.
He's Carl.
He's Carl.
Why isn't that an expression? This is my Carl.
This is my Carl.
Very good.
So right off into the sunset, presumably for more hilarious adventures.
I think there could be a Van Helsing. There could absolutely be a franchise out of that.
I think they should just put Hugh Jackman into this Universal Monsters universe.
Why not?
We haven't. We speculated before The Mummy came out that Tom Cruise was going to be Van Helsing.
Yes.
But it turned out he was just Nick Morton.
Yes.
So there's still room for Hugh Jackman to be Van Helsing. You know what? Do it X-Men style. Just throw him in the modern day.
Doesn't matter.
Don't explain it.
Nah, he's an ancestor. Or just don't explain it.
Don't explain it.
Yeah. Do you remember the end of Superman Returns? It doesn't exactly set up a direct sequel. But Bryan Singer had a lot of ideas. He wanted to go full Wrath of Khan for the sequel.
What does that mean?
Fighting.
Okay, sure, right.
I presume it means fighting.
Yes.
Yeah, but I know he was like, yeah, I want to do a more action-heavy kind of follow-up. And I was actually looking forward to it.
Slowly flying through space
Yes,
at
that's
odd
it.
angles
That's right.
in silence. That's what he wanted.
I know you hate it, but I quite like it.
What?
Superman Returns.
Oh, yeah, I had it. I thought you were going to say Wrath of Khan. I'm like, how dare you?
Wrath of Khan's... Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
fine.
good, I guess, yeah. It's
How
fine.
dare you say that I would hate Wrath of Khan when it's fine?
Yeah, I get why people hate Superman Returns.
Yeah.
Like, I just have a soft spot for it. Like, I totally
It's in your bloody
get it.
brain.
It is in my bloody brain. But that plane catch is still phenomenal. I don't care what you say, Mason.
Ugh,
I don't care what you say. And they cut out... We talked about this before. They cut out one of the most interesting bits. This is where he visits Krypton. Anyway, I kind of wish we had seen a new one. Because also... There is kind of... People do debate whether Superman Returns is better than Man of Steel. There is that discussion. Actually, that'll be just interesting on Twitter. Which do you think is better?
Yeah.
Because you'd say Man of Steel.
Yes.
But I don't know. Because neither of them are perfect.
Sure.
But I could definitively say that I like Man of Steel much more.
I mean, Man of Steel has some holes in the plot, and maybe you don't love the characterization of Superman in it, but Superman Returns is boring. It's so boring and sad and dull.
And sepia.
Ugh, sepia tone. Ugh. It did set up that Superman's got a kid now.
Yeah.
Which is now canon which, you know, is over the years has variously been canon in Superman stories.
Sure, yeah. But it seems like they mean it this time.
They definitely mean it this time.
Yeah, which I think's cool.
How long do you think it is before they erase his kid?
Yeah, I don't know, next reboot or whatever.
I don't
Reckon
know.
they'll kill his kid?
No.
That's not really a Superman. Like, he's not a grief kind of,
No,
"He killed
that's
my
very
son"
true,
kind of
yeah.
thing. If
Yeah.
they do, it won't be for long.
I don't
Or
know.
maybe they will to shake it up.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're in the comic books. They've reached that point where they're like, you know what? It's weird that none of these characters ever evolve, and maybe it's time to do that. Like now we've got Damian Wayne as Robin, and he seems to be evolving as a character.
Yeah.
And Batman's got a son now, and they haven't erased him.
Yep.
And Superman's got it's working for me.
I think it's a good angle for Superman. I think it kind of humanizes him.
He's the most dad-like of the.
He totally is. He's
the DC heroes.
DC dad.
DC's dad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you think he's a better dad than Batman?
Yes. Infinitely. Batman's one of the worst dads.
Yeah, how many sons has Batman got killed?
How many sons has he punched personally?
so many.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, he's lucky that the universe gets rebooted every few years because he's had a lot of sons killed.
He's killed all of his Robins.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Has he killed Dick Grayson? He's definitely knocked one of his teeth out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't see... No, I did see this. I was going to say Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. That had a sequel. There's 2 of them.
Yep.
I haven't seen them. Planet of the Apes, 2001.
Yes.
You
Oh
seen
boy,
that?
did that set... Yeah,
The
of course I
Burton
have.
one. That set up the...
That's my favourite movie. I love it.
Is that a sequel? Is that set up a sequel, or is that just a twist ending though? Because if you look at the original Planet of the Apes, the twist is that it's Earth all along, or whatever.
Yeah.
Someone sent me a really good meme from that recently. I can't remember. I apologize.
I'm pretty sure that...
Like, that was supposed to be standalone.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think that if it were anybody other than Tim Burton, I
Yeah.
would have said they've set this up as a sequel. But
Yeah.
because it's Tim Burton, that's just a wacky...
Yeah, he doesn't really... I mean, he has... He's done sequels, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Sure he
well,
has.
he's done Batman Returns.
Of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it seems like just... But
To me, it just feels like a twist. I mean, it's not a good twist.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know whether it was like a promise of a movie where Mark Wahlberg has to fight 8 cops on Earth.
So if you haven't seen it...
Just watch this part if you haven't seen it. It won't
So...
affect the rest
Right,
of the
so
movie.
Mark Wahlberg's an astronaut. He ends up on a planet where there are human intelligent apes.
Yeah, because they put them there and whatever. 'Cause
That's right.
They're experimenting.
That's right. And then he goes back to Earth, but somehow the apes have beat him there.
Yeah.
And they've taken over
But
human society
no,
perfectly.
but yes. Sorry, keep going. Yeah.
And they've replaced Abraham Lincoln's statue with a statue of an ape. Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah,
Precisely.
because Caesar got there. Is it Caesar? No, the bad guy, the Tim Roth ape. That's the Tim Roth ape.
Yes, right.
But even though Planet of the Apes, this version is set in the future,
Yes.
and then he goes into the far future, and then he travels back to the past, but he travels back to present day.
Yes.
Because it's the present day when he arrives back on Earth.
Yes.
But Tim Roth ape must have arrived in like Lincoln's era.
Right, sure, yeah. Oh, is that what you're saying? Right.
I think that's what it is. I mean, it's a twist.
Very intriguing, isn't it?
No, because it's just a series of things.
Couldn't he have just replaced Lincoln's head with a monkey head?
No, I think the idea was that he got back early and had
Right.
because if Tim Roth ape arrived back in modern day,
Yes.
he was fairly primitive. Like their ape society was fairly primitive. They didn't have weapons. I think maybe they had guns and spears.
Right.
But if that one smart ape arrived back on Earth now,
Yes.
he's
What
not
can he
taking
do?
over.
Exactly,
is he?
that's true, you're
So
right.
you take him back to Lincoln's
I
era.
guess
and
you're
then
probably
it's-
right,
then it's
yeah.
different.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't hit him with a nuke.
People would immediately surrender.
Exactly.
Talking ape. Here's the thing, though. Planet of the Apes 2001 is more accurate to the original book than it is
Really?
the 1960s version takes more liberties.
Why is that?
Here's the final paragraph of Planet of the Apes novel on Wikipedia. What do you reckon about
You are
that?
crushing it with research
I'm
this
doing
week.
heaps of research because I don't remember anything. Okay, so the good guys escape
Yeah.
from the planet in the Planet of the
Of
Apes,
apes.
right? They program to fly their ship back to Earth. As they fly over Paris, all the airport and the Eiffel Tower look the same because they're French. They're going back to France.
Sure.
When they land, however, they are greeted by a field officer in a jeep who is a gorilla. Right? And the frame story of the book is that there's a couple, like they're floating through space, like it's the future, and they're
not just frozen in space.
No, they're in a spaceship, right? They're called Jin and Phyllis, right? And they find like a message in a bottle kind of thing with a manuscript.
In space.
It's in space, right? It's a manuscript, and it's about this astronaut who goes to the planet Betelgeuse, right? And he encounters the planet of the apes. You know
what?
Look, it's not the point. Anyway, so
was that the Charlton Heston guy then?
Yes.
Oh, and the twist is the astronauts are apes.
Correct.
I knew this.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
That's right.
So they're reading the story of this man.
Yes.
But you don't know that they're. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
But they're apes. It's revealed at the end they're apes. Everybody's an ape.
So who flies over Paris? They do.
No, the human guy.
So he comes back to Earth and then writes a manuscript and shoots it into space.
I guess.
You're right. It is more like the Tim Burton
Isn't
one.
it though?
It's nonsense.
Correct.
It's hot nonsense.
It's very hot nonsense. It's piping hot nonsense.
Is that a French book?
It's a French book.
There you go. Was the ape in the Jeep?
La Planète des Singes.
I did know that actually.
Known in English as Planet of the Apes and Monkey Planet.
Yes, I did a video on it on Planet of the Apes Facts. I do remember that from like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
so there you go.
Good.
Cop that. Is it a better film? Absolutely not. Well, is it a better film than the Charlton Heston movie?
The Charlton Heston one is hilarious.
But is it good?
I think it's got some good ideas.
But is it good?
Charlton Heston.
Answer me.
Yeah, I'll say it's good for the era.
All right, yeah, that's fair enough.
Charlton Heston is not a good actor.
I'm saying that the Planet of the Apes movie from the 60s and the Planet of the Apes movie from 2001, people are like, oh my god, the Charlton Heston one's a classic and this one's garbage. I'm saying they're both garbage.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying they're both equally as good as each other, whether you enjoy them or not. It's just they were produced in different eras. 2001, it was all just CGI and
There's a lot of prosthetics in that.
and just battle sequences. And in the one from the 60s, it's just Charlton Heston yelling. Because that was acting back then.
And talking about women he slept with.
Exactly. They're the same thing. Are they better than the modern ones? Of course not. The modern ones are great.
Yeah, they certainly are. Very good.
Imagine living in those years. Imagine living in the 60s or 2001. Try and imagine it. Ugh.
Oh, that's the weirdest thing, isn't it? Because a lot of those movies that I went and saw in 2001, they are unacceptable as films nowadays.
Yeah, totally.
And I think, obviously time moves on, but like now we look back and be like, I can't believe we had to endure the likes of the Mummy reboot.
Exactly.
Anyway, have you seen Lemony Snicket?
No.
It's a good film. I think it's all right. I mean, it compresses a lot of the books. I think I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the TV series, which is dour and not fun.
Okay, but is the TV series isn't a continuation?
No.
It's essentially the same thing but stretched out.
Stretched out, yeah.
Okay, right.
I mean, I understand why people like it, and it does adhere more to the books, but I think the movie was quite
So why
interesting.
didn't Lemony Snicket the movie get a sequel
I
or a
have
franchise?
no idea.
Radio there.
Couldn't answer that question, but I think it's okay. Here's an interesting one.
I'm ready.
Master and Commander, the Far Side of the World.
Yes.
Which means it was gearing up for another one. That's a series of books, isn't it? The Master
Yes,
and
it is,
Commander
yes.
series.
Uh-huh.
So in that, Russell Crowe, it's Boat Gladiator, essentially.
Right.
It's off the back of, I think it might even be, no, it's not Ridley Scott, is it?
No, you're thinking of Gladiator.
It might be Peter Weir.
Could be Peter Weir.
Yeah. Anyway, he's the master and commander. And
Oh,
he's
yes.
sailing across the ocean. He's getting up to nautical adventures with what's his name? The Vision. What's his bloody name? I'm gonna say Thomas C. Howell.
Yeah.
It's not him.
You think of C. Thomas Howell.
I am
C. Thomas Run.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany.
And they're up to adventures, and they got to fight the French. And at the very end,
Your choice there, when you're editing this, is to either cut out the amount of time that we had to think before we could think of the actor Paul Bettany, or extend it for like a full minute. That's your choices.
that would be a great. I think the payoff would be quite good for a minute long.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
I think a lot of people would think there's something wrong with the podcast. We get a lot of tweets.
Yeah, that's true.
And anyway, at the end, they capture a French vessel and they leave a guy behind who they don't realize is the captain. And then they have to go back for him because they're like, oh my God, the guy that we thought was just some kind of crew member was actually the captain of the French vessel. Trouble's afoot. And then they set off. And I think Paul Bettany gets his arm cut off or something at some point. Also, Russell Crowe, the other thing I remember about this movie is Russell Crowe learnt to play the violin. This
Really?
one particular song. He took it so seriously that he can't play the violin, but he could play that one song.
Wow.
Because he's the greatest actor and violinist
Was
in
it
the
a
world.
Cause song?
Yeah, it was a Cause song. It was Love to Love You by the Cause.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
So
And we all remember Russell Crowe's amazing virtuosic turn in Virtuosity. The film
right,
Virtuosity. Now, we all remember his incredible turn playing the violin in Master and Commander, don't we? No, obviously we don't.
I remember that because, to me, that's hilarious.
Right.
You know how long that would take to do?
Yeah.
You know how precise you have to be that good?
And you can't just rote learn.
No, you can't. It's
You
like
can't just
guitar.
be. You can't just be like, all right, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
No.
6, 7, 8, and then you have to learn the violin.
I mean, I feel like as well he did it on set and then they dubbed it.
Oh, sure.
I don't know that for a fact, but I
Right.
remember hearing like Richard Gere did it in a movie and he kind of did it so it looked like he was doing it, but they just...
Okay, so how does it look on screen?
I mean,
Is it
I don't
one
know
take?
how to... Yeah, I don't think so.
Because if they cut around, then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not a violinist. I'm sure if you are a violinist, you'd be able to tell.
But if you're a violinist, you're probably not watching Master and Commander.
No. You're playing the bloody violin, mate.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're probably playing,
Runaway.
yes.
By the Course.
By the Course.
Were you looking for a chorus song then? Is that what you were...
No, I was trying to think of, what's that movie Miles Teller is in? Add a minute of silence. Whiplash. You're watching Whiplash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about drumming, but anyway.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Do you?
Yes.
Another one on this list is Left Behind from 2014.
Why would I have seen Left Behind?
I have
Do you
no idea
mean
what that
the
is.
series of Christian films?
Oh, it might be, yeah.
Yeah.
Power Rangers is on this. We've talked about it. That's not getting a sequel. The new one.
Did it... How... See, that's the thing. We saw that like a couple of months ago, right?
I don't remember
How does it end?
I don't know. Did you ever see Push? The Chris Evans... It's kind of a comic book movie.
Yes, I did.
Is that good?
I
I've
watched
heard
it on
it's
Netflix.
okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I've heard it's not amazing, but it's kind of... It's
That
for
being
what it
said,
is.
can't remember if I finished it or not.
Is Dakota Fanning in that?
Dakota Fanning's in it.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Is she a child prodigy who has push powers?
Yeah, and Chris Evans just focus your mind and then you use your powers and then you can see the power moving. Are you saying I could use my... Yes, we get it.
Everybody, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
That was kind of a... Chris Evans had a bit of a lull.
He did have a lull,
He did Cellular,
Yes, that's right.
which is, I remember being quite interesting or
Yep,
good.
sure.
It's like a speed movie, but with,
Cellular.
with cellular, with phones. But yeah, so I guess that promised another one. There was another one here I was going to bring up. What the bloody hell was it, Mason? I can't bloody remember. I feel like a bit of a goose. Apparently Assassin's Creed set up a sequel.
Wow, well nobody...
Didn't say it.
Great, terrific.
I had a good one. I can't bloody remember. It's not on this list.
Oh no.
Kick-Ass 2 did it. At the end, it's like, now Dave, if that's his name, is more muscular, and there's going to be even more ass kicking than you've ever seen. Remember, he's got the chrome helmet at the end?
That's right, yes.
What do you think of that?
No good.
And there's a lot of this, and we mentioned this at our that live event that we did. There's a lot of teen, like series that wanted to be Harry Potter. Or
Sure,
Twilight.
yeah, right.
So like
right.
I Am Number 4, which I have seen. I don't
Yep.
remember it being that bad. Golden Compass, The Giver.
Chronicles of Narnia, I guess,
Chronicles
to
of
some
Narnia.
extent.
Oh, there's been a few of those.
Yeah,
Like
right,
3. And they're doing it again.
City of Ember.
Yeah, exactly. The Giver, which is actually quite a good book. If you ever read The Giver.
The Divergent series.
Yeah, no good. Aragon, that came off the back of Lord of the Rings.
Well, you got to try them, don't you?
You gotta try.
Gotta give them a whirl. You know?
Super Mario Brothers.
Yes.
That ends with, I don't remember what her name is. Her name might be Daisy.
Yes.
The woman who's from the dinosaur world, who's Luigi's girlfriend.
Yes.
Shows back up through a portal to Mario and Luigi's
That's right.
house.
She's
It's
dressed
like,
Ripley style.
Yeah, she's like, we gotta go back and do adventures. That movie is what a swing and a miss. Like,
Absolutely.
Just so much of that is just, what were you thinking?
Well, our friends over at Filthy Casuals did a live commentary of that movie. And when I say live commentary of that movie, everybody in the room mutually agreed at about the hour mark that it was really, really terrible and nobody was enjoying it, ironically even, so they switched it off. It's pretty
That's
great.
fair, yeah. No, I don't fault them for that. You got any more? We want to wrap this up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right, very good.
Was there a Kick-Ass 3 comic book?
Yes.
I feel there was, yeah.
There was. And maybe it was all in his mind or whatever. I'm sure there are other
that's
examples
right.
of stuff here. But, I mean, do you really want to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man series?
We've done it to death.
Done it to death, yeah. It's got Daredevil here, but Daredevil kind of did get a sequel to
Elektra, yeah,
So, yeah. Did you ever see Dead or Alive?
Yes. Let's read the final paragraph of its Wikipedia just to see what happens. got the great Eric Roberts as the villain.
It's got Street Fighter here as well. How did Street Fighter end? They all pose in front
I
of the
bet
camera.
they all pose. Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that specifically setting up a sequel.
Raul Julia's just shaking his fist and he's like, I'm definitely going to be back. He's dead.
But he didn't know that not only did he die in the movie, he died in real life.
Exactly.
Last movie he ever did.
Oh, I see. Dead or Alive ends with the main characters like getting ready to fight a whole bunch of ninjas, like an army of ninjas.
Is that guy ever going to make another one? Like of anything?
Eric Roberts?
No, that director.
Are you Paul W? No, wait, Corey UN.
Oh, I thought it was one of those Uwe Boll movies.
No, it's not. No.
Really?
Yeah, it's different. Let's look up Uwe Boll and see what
what's
he's
he
up
doing?
to. Not Uwe Bill. What are you doing?
Why would it autocorrect Uwe Bill? That's crazy.
It says Uwe Boll is a retired German-born Canadian filmmaker and restaurateur.
/ psychopath.
Yeah, but he's retired apparently from both filmmaking and the restaurant biz.
Okay. So he's made enough money from the
tax loophole
tax
that enabled him to
loophole
make so many
yeah.
movies in Germany, yes.
And then he made that real racist video.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Also Hulk. It's got Hulk here
Oh, yes.
from 2003. I don't remember that specifically setting up a sequel. Oh, no, it does, because he's in the forest and he's like, you won't like it when I'm Eric Banner. He was a bad Hulk.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I like Eric Banner a lot, but that was really weirdly cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that'll do it, Mason.
We did it.
If you got any, tweet them at us.
Let us know.
Yeah, but, you don't have to. Green Lantern, of course. Ghostbusters from last year.
Yeah, sure.
Promised Zool.
That's right.
Yeah, that's never happening.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what it's time for then,
What's
Mason?
it time for?
What are we reading?
Oh, what are we going to read?
I've changed
Which is a
it.
segment we do.
Yeah. It's mostly about stuff we watched.
Yeah, right.
It's not reading. Though mine
I
is
read
today.
something this week. I also read something this week.
We need a gap for the theme song. before we get
Okay.
into it.
But I'm just saying, once we do, we'll do the gap, but then I'm going to tell you about a thing I've been reading because I read a thing.
I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm doing the theme. What are we reading today?
Theme?
I've done it.
Oh, it's in. Okay,
For
cool.
us, it's been mere seconds.
Mere
but for
sec-
the listeners, it's been slightly more mere
Yeah.
seconds.
I read a DC book
Oh, yeah.
called Dark Days of the Forge. I don't know if you read that this
I have
week.
not read that.
It's the opening salvo in what I assume is DC's new mega crossover situation.
Okay.
It's basically hang on, I'll find it real quick.
I don't have time for this, Mason.
No, we've got nothing but time. don't lie to me and pretend. It's bringing back a lot. Like it's bringing back a lot of characters. That look at that cover page. Is
that Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Scott Snyder and James Tynion the fourth, which
Is
is
there two Batmans on that page?
Yeah, there's a regular Batman down here.
Yeah.
And then there's a sort of a gigantic, some sort of evil Batman statue. But anyway, it is super, it's a lot of fun. It's sort of like Grant Morrison era Justice League.
Yeah.
Like there's so much happening in
That's
it.
your fave.
And they've reintroduced a whole bunch of characters that haven't been in the Rebirth universe yet, like Plastic Man
Right.
and Hawkman
Right.
and other things. And
Right.
they've You're just going to say that every time?
No, I was ready. I think I had it ready to go in my head.
Uh-huh.
But then you said other things.
Other things.
I thought we were gonna name it
There's
someone
definitely other things. And it's sort of, Batman's got a secret. He's got a secret he's been storing away in the Fortress of Solitude.
else. Did he murder someone?
No.
Bet he has.
He might have.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's there's callbacks to like the New 52 universe and Crisis on Infinite Earths and all sorts of.
If you don't know these specific things that happened,
You,
would it impede you reading this book?
Probably. I think you will enjoy the ride.
Okay.
This is leading up to Dark Knight's Metal, which is apparently some sort of crossover where evil Batmen from various parallel dimensions are going to come to the regular DC universe and cause some ruckus.
Cool.
So
We'll see
pretty good.
Owlman then.
we might see Owlman.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they're new
What do you mean?
their new parallel universe evil Batman.
They're not going to put Owlman in
I don't think
there.
Owlman's going to be in it.
Why wouldn't they put him in
I
there?
don't know.
Anyway, okay, good, great.
Yeah.
That sounds
It's
really good.
real good. Yeah. So
I might just read that when it comes out, though.
yeah, but yeah, it's sort of shades of Grant Morrison's, where they can just be like, here's a potential future where everything's doomed, and here's a parallel universe where everything's doomed, and Batman's got to come in and save everything, and etc.
It's got some good alternate covers there.
Yep, it's bloody.
Very interesting. Is it like a 40-page one? Is it one of those ones?
I can't count, so I don't know.
There you go. You can read, but you can't count.
Correct.
That's very interesting.
Isn't it though?
Yeah. Well, I read something DC as well, actually.
What's that?
This is what I was going to mention last week, but I forgot. They finally wrapped up The Dark Knight Returns Volume 3.
Oh, did they? Fantastic.
They did something like 8 or 9 issues. Might have only been 8, over 18 months.
Yeah, right.
I'd forgotten about it. I kept forgetting about it because it would be like 3 or 4 months in between.
Yep.
But they wrapped it up. Spoiler alert, Batman's young again.
Because of nanotechnology?
No, he goes into the Lazarus pit, but it seems to have no repercussions.
Great. Terrific.
They beat all the Superman. I thought the core idea of it was interesting.
Sure.
Like they break open the city of Kandor.
Okay.
And it turns out there's like a weird cult in there.
Okay, sure.
That have kind of taken over, and then they try to rule Earth.
Oh, that's the master race he's referring to.
Yes, that's the master race.
At what point was this revealed? Like 2 issues in, or is it just recently?
2. Yeah, might have been 2. Or maybe the end of 1.
Uh-huh.
But no, I quite like that idea. And I think I might have even liked it more if it had have been month to month. Right? We could have kept track of it. I think it's better than Volume 2, but it's just really mediocre.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's just...
And this is Frank Miller writing with somebody else, right?
Brian Azzarello, maybe?
And Dark... So this means that soon we're going to get Dark Knight 4,
That's the plan.
which is 100% Frank Miller, right?
I'm going to double check. It might not be Brian Azzarello. I might be wrong on that.
You don't want to blame someone
No.
unnecessarily.
Here we go. Yeah, Brian Azzarello. Is that who I said?
Yes.
Also, Mason, we thought we'd try something. We're doing this on a few podcasts on the network.
Yes.
This is a good time as any to bring this up, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
We thought we might every now and then, or maybe even weekly, who knows? We thought we'd throw in a short clip from the, or a kind of a promo from some other podcasts.
From on the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Correct, yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So this week, a lot of people would probably already listen to this who listens to this.
Yes.
It's Do Go On.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's a show where basically Matt's been on the show before.
Yes, he has. Yep.
He was on the Universes, the weird conjoined universes
Yes,
episode.
I think it was.
Yeah. A lot of people really liked him. But basically, there's 3 of them. It's Jess, Matt, and Dave. And every week, one of them does a report
On an interesting topic.
On an interesting topic, and it's always interesting. No matter what it is, last week was on Chaplin, which I thought,
Chaplin.
Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin's deformed younger brother.
Yes, but it's well worth checking out.
Yeah.
So Mason, here's a clip.
How many weeks are you pregnant for?
Me? I'd turn it around pretty quickly.
It's about 9 months. We could have had 2 babies by now.
I don't think that's right.
I'm talking about 2 separate women, as I often do.
Who would you say is one of the most successful fiction writers in history?
Agatha Christie. Moderns, we're going J.K. Rowling, Stephanie Meyer.
No.
R.L. Stein.
No, it's not R.L. Stein. Go further back. Initial surname. A book that is a big book and has been split into
Jesus.
several films.
H. Holmes Christ.
Now, Mason, for us, it's been mere seconds, but for everybody else,
it's been an entire episode of Do Go On, which we just edited in there. But yeah, so we're going to round robin these.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to Filthy Casuals, there might be a bloody promo. If you listen to Do Go On, there might be a promo for somebody else.
Exactly.
And we'd love it if everybody gave all these shows a listen.
Correct.
It'd be real good.
Very good.
Yes.
I hope you're ready for for the next theme song.
Oh,
Mason.
before we do that, special shout outs to Rowan Coast, who
Yes.
featured us on The Guardian.
Yeah,
this
that
week.
was a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it Aussie podcast? Was that
you
at the
should be
top?
listening to. Yeah.
And there's 2 really good ones.
And then us at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So weird. But no, that was really nice to see. We really appreciate that. So
Yeah.
it's always nice to get. And they say some very glowing things about you, which some people
took issue with. It says she says, "Oh, he really sounds like he knows what he's talking about." Well, I've got her fooled, haven't I? Eh? I'm just reading from the Wikipedia most of the time.
That's it. Every week I edit out the bit where you go, I'm just going to read the last paragraph of Wikipedia from this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it was a really nice article. So thank you.
Yeah,
very
and we
much
get a
for
shout
that.
out from time to time, which is real sweet.
That's right.
The Onion AV Club called us ...
podcast.
irreverent.
Is that from like 4 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Wow, look at us go.
I know, right?
We're just shattering the boundaries of new media.
That's right.
4 years at a time.
Finally, yeah, we're shattering the boundaries of new media by occasionally appearing in old media that is actually important. Anyway, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Anyway, we're going to talk about letters. Probably we're going to do some letters. The classic one was
Letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
Good work, Mason.
Thank you.
You want to do your letter first?
I'll do a letter.
First, or do you want me to do my tweets first?
Give us a tweet.
Okay, here we go. If you want to reach the show on Twitter, you can hashtag #WeeklyPlanetPod. We will find it and read it out.
Then we'll find you.
Yeah. And then we'll hunt you for sport.
That's right. Or you can hunt us for sport, depending on where the Patreon goes.
The tiers. So you can also send an email. Mason's all over the email.
weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's right. So this is from Liam O'Brien on Twitter. He says, do you think Peter Parker will get a trilogy, then be replaced with Miles Morales?
Oh, that'd be really good.
Yeah.
I would enjoy that a lot.
I feel like Tom Holland's in for the long haul. Unless they really botch this, like Sony take control back and ruin it. Do you think
there's enough time in 3 Spider-Man movies to have him go from I'm a teen and I don't know what I'm doing and what's life anyway to like being a mentor style character?
I think so. The new Spider-Man game, Spider-Man on PS4, which is just called Spider-Man, Miles Morales is revealed at the back end of that trailer.
Oh.
And it's also known in that universe, it's separate from the comics, it's separate from the movies, which I think is a great move, that Peter Parker is 23.
Okay.
So Tom Holland, by the time a 3rd, 4th movie rolls around, will be 23 at minimum.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So I think it's absolutely possible. Why not have a 23-year-old mentor a 15-year-old?
Sure, right.
I think that's great.
Especially if they've got incredible powers and are always jumping into dangerous situations. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, man. I was an advocate for introducing Miles Morales, like kicking off this universe. Spider-Man already existed, and then
right.
I mean, I guess he could. I mean, it would kind of be weird that it never came up prior, I guess. But and jumping straight to Miles Morales because we've seen Peter Parker twice.
Yeah,
already.
right.
But that being said, I do like the way they've been handling it. So I think they absolutely have plans to do it.
Yeah. Sure.
But they wouldn't have cast it. The kid who's going to end up being him will be 8 now. Or
Sure,
something like
right.
that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
No, is that someone you want to see?
Yeah, definitely.
And in the Ultimate Universe as well, the original Spider-Man is killed.
Yes.
And Miles Morales takes over. But now all the universes have merged. There was a convergence of sorts, wasn't there?
There sure was.
There was a web of shadows or whatever.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
What was it called? I can't remember.
I don't know either.
Spider dimensional activity.
Mm.
Yeah. I also did another video, Mason, where I talked about how they should do that storyline, where they should bring back all the previous Spider-Man, like all the weird comic book versions,
Sure,
the
right.
Japanese version, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, just bring them all back for one insane movie.
Spider-Ham?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, all of it. You know, like the Japanese one who's got the big Voltron robot.
Right, sure.
There's Italian Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Bring them all back.
When
Spider-Verse.
when would this happen? When would this happen?
You'd have to get a couple movies in.
Exactly,
you can't
right.
open with that.
Maybe in 3.
But I think that would be interesting to... I mean, I don't care what Andrew Garfield Spider-Man's doing. I thought he was a good Spider-Man. I didn't really like his Peter Parker. But I would genuinely like to see what Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's been doing.
You can't do Tobey Maguire and not Andrew
No,
Garfield.
I'm saying you do both.
Yeah,
but
right.
But more so, I'd want to see what Tobey
But you
Maguire's
would leave
up to.
the cinema in protest while the Andrew Garfield scenes are happening.
I would stamp my little feet, mate.
That's right. Okay, that would be fun. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. And you could do doppelganger, like evil versions of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff you could do. I don't know whether they'll do that, but if Sony are looking to build a Spider-Man universe, this is a way you can introduce Spider-Gwen. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do from this.
Yeah.
You don't need to do Aunt May spin-offs and Venom movies set in parallel dimensions or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Right.
I think there was a few Spider-Man movies and this opened the door to some really cool stuff.
I guess that's true. But does it ruin the magic that there's so many Spider-Men?
Well, I feel like it's going to get... All these universes are going to have to get weirder to keep people more
that's
interested.
true, yeah.
I think they're probably going to eventually make a Civil War 2 with Captain Marvel down the line. Even though a lot of people didn't love that comic, including me, but I think there is something interesting to that.
But they'll probably they streamlined Civil War 1 quite well for Captain America,
So yeah.
I guess they have enough. The comic book side of the company and the movie side of the company, there's enough separation that I guess one can learn from the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they can go, okay, well, Civil War 2 didn't really work. We'll streamline it again and maybe we can get a better version on screen kind of thing.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Mason.
right. Yeah. Does it ruin the magic a little bit if there's 2 Spider-Man in the cinematic universe?
Yeah, I guess there's... Was that?
But I guess this is Iron Man and a War Machine.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah. So not necessarily, depending how it's done. Yeah. No, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
That's true.
Yeah. Or there's everything wrong with it, and I'm against
Exactly.
it. Which is it, Mason?
Hey, here's a letter. This
I'm ready.
is from Daniel Mascali on weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
He's got an idea of how to save the Dark Universe. So
Reboot.
this franchise ain't going to work. But he said, instead of making the movies in between a horror and action movie, make them in the vein of old Abbott and Costello movies. Instead of Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man or Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman, make it The Rock and Kevin Hart meet Frankenstein or The Rock and Kevin Hart meet Dracula.
You're not a Kevin Hart fan.
No.
Who would you swap out Kevin Hart for someone else?
Yeah.
Like Josh Gad?
Maybe like a mop. The Rock and a mop meet Dracula.
Well, that's just Toxic Avenger, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice. We're adding the Toxic Avenger.
The Rock and a mop.
We're adding
fight the mummy.
We're adding all the what's that universe called? The bloody
the Troma.
We're adding everybody from the Tromaverse to the Universal Monsters. So
that's not
Toxic Avenger, Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD, all the greats.
all the other ones.
Yep.
That idea of his.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yes. James Gunn directed?
Yeah.
Did he? He did, didn't he?
Probably.
He wrote. Who cares?
Yep.
Me, good on him. I don't care that much.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I don't love the Kevin Hart idea, but I like that kind of take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not do something different?
Would it be...
I mean, more different than what we got.
Yeah, but I guess
by different, I mean better.
The thing is that Abbott and Costello were real people, but also characters who essentially played a weird version of themselves. So would it be The Rock? Let's say it is The Rock and Kevin Hart, or The Rock and a mop. Would it be The Rock and a mop as The Rock? Or would it be another character? Would it be like his character in Fast and Furious meets Dracula?
I think there would be something fun to make it actually The Rock.
Yeah, I think
that's
too.
Probably it's too much.
Is it?
I think it's too much to have like monsters, but it's also our world and it's also The Rock, like the real version of The Rock. I think it's too many things.
Because there's not really. Is there anybody really who is just a version of themselves on screen anymore?
Last Action Hero. Arnold shows up.
Yeah, good point.
Real Arnold shows up.
I guess this was going to be the case many years ago. Who was it? It was one of the...
John Malkovich, the movie. That's another example. So
yeah, sure. John Malkovich and a mop meets Dracula. You didn't
go John Malkovich to The Rock? It's one person and they have to be paired with a mop.
I'm steadfast on the mop. We're not... The mop is written in stone, all right?
Okay, sure.
But, what was I going with? Oh, yeah, so Kevin Smith was approached by the Weinsteins back in the 90s, and they were like, well, let's make it...
The guys from Dude, Where's My Car?
No, it was they wanted
Jane
Silent Bob.
I remember
meets
that, yeah.
Freddy Krueger and meets Jason. So which is why in Freddy vs. Jason there are those two weird stoner characters who seem a lot like Jay and Silent Bob.
Isn't that also a shot at Kevin Smith because he was like, no,
probably
I'm not doing that.
Potentially it was, yeah.
I would have liked. That idea does not work now. But in the 90s,
yeah, right.
That may have. I mean, they're in Scream 3.
That's true, yeah.
I think that idea could have actually. I mean, it wouldn't have been good, but it could have been interesting, yeah.
There's got to be somebody. What about The Rock and Zac Efron?
No, I think if Baywatch proved anything,
they don't work as a team.
Well, I think they're okay, but Baywatch was apparently written by people who have never written a comedy.
Yes,
and if you look at the cast, none of them are comedic actors.
21 Jump Street meets The Mummy. I'm going to just keep hammering at this.
You know what? That does
Channing
work.
Tatum and Jonah Hill.
But it's Sony and Universal, so they wouldn't do it.
They'd have to, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but something in the style of that, yeah. Or in who else do Universal have? You could do Fast and Furious.
I guess people would buy like Seth Rogen and...
I think so. And a mop.
Yeah, because they did This Is the End where they're themselves.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess you need at least one movie where they are themselves.
Okay.
And then, I don't know. This is probably not going to work.
No, I think there is something to that where you do a comedic take on it, like with horror elements. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is because you have to either get two actors that people.
Where are they going to find two actors, Mason?
I know, in Hollywood.
Just get one actor and a mop.
Just one actor. Look, I'll bend a little. Any kind of cleaning implement.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a Zamboni.
A ShamWell.
Yeah, ShamWow would work.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
ShamWow.
It's a Sham
Okay,
Wow.
I said wow.
It's got
didn't it?
wow in it.
Yeah, fair enough. Go on.
A Zamboni's one of those little things they use to smooth ice hockey rinks.
Oh, very good. They do damage.
Yeah, right? Against the mummy.
Yes.
Because you'd need two actors that people know as themselves, and they're not like the characters have to be written so it's not pandering.
Yeah.
And also, because if you were just like, okay, it's Seth Rogen and Will Ferrell as two characters, two office workers, and they meet the mummy.
Yeah.
That's just a mummy movie.
Right.
A comedic mummy movie.
Sure,
so, I don't know.
Okay. So you need some twists on it.
Yeah, I guess we'll bring back Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I guess.
Kevin Hart and a mop.
I was telling you recently I started to watch his special, his comedy special. I was astounded how bad it was.
Right?
Like, I'd never seen any of his comedy. I've nothing against him. I've seen him in things where I thought, yeah, he's fine. Just mind-bendingly terrible.
Right.
I couldn't, and it was like Madison Square Garden. There was like an 1,000-foot screen.
Yeah, right?
It just blew my mind how kind of pedestrian it was.
That man made like $87 million last year.
Yeah, I bet it did.
Yeah.
Anyway, good on him.
Good on him, exactly. Different strokes.
This is from Can't Spell.
Oh, Daniel also asked, can he be the official vaudevillian of the pod? Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Oh, wow, all right.
No, that's
overruled.
I'm putting my foot down.
Yeah.
Just this one time.
No, that's fair.
No.
Yeah, good.
No, he's all right.
Yeah.
It's from Can't Spell, but it's spelled with a K, and spell only has one L.
Nice.
Get it?
That guy can't spell.
That's the... Yeah. Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. What film genre will get big after the comic book movie?
Ooh.
Internet celebrity biopics?
Hopefully.
Or biopics? Who will play Meso in the film?
Mop. Yeah.
Could I play myself?
No, The Rock. It's going to be The Rock and a mop.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the Weekly Planet story.
Yeah, sure. I'd watch that. What do you think's the next big
The
thing?
Rock's going to have like a Fred Astaire style dance number. Where you twirl a mop to get it like
Sure.
you dunk it, then you twirl the mop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to do a bit of that.
Like we do before every show. We do a
Exactly.
little dance
We
to
do a
get
little
jazzed for this.
That's right.
But no, what do you... We've talked about this briefly before. What do you think's if the comic book movie dies off, which everything eventually does, what's next? Do you think they can move into different types of comic book movies? I think we're definitely going to move away from straight origins and, and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Hollywood is going to get tired of adaptations. I think we're stuck in that world forever.
Yeah.
It's of an original... The idea of an original screenplay based on nothing is going to get rarer and rarer. Right. But I think they might go into... I think they're definitely going to go into non-superhero comic books.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're going to go... It'll go... superhero movies, then it'll go action movies with kind of maybe like a weird sci-fi edge.
Like Push,
and then it'll go to just maybe, the further out, some like indie romance comics and stuff like that. Or just slice of life comics.
Like a Garfield.
Like a Garfield, exactly, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I've said this before, but I think there's going to be, or they're already doing it, bringing back franchises, like classic franchises, and not rebooting it, but being like they did with Star Wars. They'll make probably another Harry Potter trilogy in 10 years.
Hey, speaking of internet celebrity biopics, did I send you that Zach Braff trailer?
No,
I'm sure I did. You know that one where he's the head of a podcast.
Yeah.
He's making a podcast.
Is
that a TV series or
I think it's a TV
movie?
series. I have listened to that podcast. It's about making a podcast network. It doesn't help me because we're doing a completely different thing.
Right.
We're not going for investors or anything. We're just kind of winging it.
Yeah, sure.
But no, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That podcast is quite interesting, but no. What did
is this a TV series based on a podcast?
On a
they're doing it Marin
right.
style. They're basing. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Have you seen Glow?
What's that again?
That is it's Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. It's
that's not out yet.
Oh, isn't it?
No,
okay,
it'll be on Netflix soon. Yeah,
okay.
that's the story of wrestling.
A lovely lady.
Yes.
Yeah, female wrestling in the
70s,
80s, I guess. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, I'll give that. It's got what's her name from Community, who I like.
Alison Brie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mark Maron. So there you go.
Oh yeah, I like him too.
Me too.
He was in that Zach Braff podcast TV show.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
No.
Yeah. What do you think of Zach Braff in general?
I don't mind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And like everybody, I love Garden State when it came out.
Yes, that's right.
Is it still any good? I have honestly no idea.
What was his last movie? Because I know a lot of people have turned on Zach Braff,
Yeah.
but I don't...
The last one I remember was he
dislike
was
him.
in a movie with Rachel Bilson.
Oh, he cheated on his wife or something?
Yeah, something like that.
But he
yeah.
didn't write that, did
Uh-huh.
he? Didn't he crowdfund his last movie and everyone lost their mind because they were like, "You're a billionaire. You want to get bloody
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you think there's anything wrong with that?
No, not at all.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to crowd. You don't have
Exactly. If you're upfront about it.
Yeah.
He wasn't like.
And he made it, which a
Yeah.
lot of these people don't do.
Exactly,
They just
right.
keep the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happened to me once. I went on Kickstarter to get a watch.
Yeah.
They raised $1 million and then it just never eventuated.
What was the watch?
It was, at the time, this was pre-smartwatch, but
Right.
it was like the world's thinnest watch.
So it was a watch, but it was a thin
It was a
watch.
thin watch. It was like a thin metal band, and it had like an e-ink display, and it was like less than a millimeter thick.
When was this?
This was in like 2012 or something.
Oh, I thought you were going to... So it was a really thin... I think there would have been thin watches in there.
But this was thinner.
Like a mil, right?
Yeah.
Well,
less than-
now we
less
have
than-
the MVMT, the movement watches, mate.
That's
so
right.
we
Don't need a
those-
bloody.
Get them
yeah.
out of here.
Exactly.
Don't need your $1 million watch thief.
I reckon they just then there was the next 3 years were just a series of blog posts about how we're running into production problems, we're doing this, nothing's working, we got to whatever, and then it just disappeared. So I reckon they just went, we've got $1 million now.
Oh yeah, we've got $1 million.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, they cut and run. Do you think there should be some? You should get your money back if, like, do you think there should be some kind of refund situation? But then again, if they did go into some form of production,
Yes.
then all the money's not going to obviously be there. Does there
Right.
need to be some accountability? Do you think in terms of crowdfunding?
Nah, it's the Wild West out there, baby.
Yeah. So you don't think that there should be some repercussions if people do these startups and
Well, I
don't
think
deliver?
the issue there is that I think that if
I mean, you roll the dice when you
yeah, and
when you
I
donate.
think the issue in a lot of cases is what would happen is a lot of people would pay for like a watch, for example. They're like, it's a watch it can do these things.
It's the thinnest watch.
It's the thinnest watch ever, and then they deliver on the promise, and I reckon a huge number of people would be like,
Right.
it doesn't, it's a millimeter different here. I want my money back, and they'll keep the watch kind of
Right,
thing, and then
okay,
the whole
yeah,
system falls apart. So it's sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
That's why I never promise anything in our Patreon.
that's correct.
Never promise, you never have to deliver,
That's
Mason.
right. Under promise, never deliver. That's our motto.
Yeah.
Never promise, under deliver.
Except for the human hunting. We
Oh
will
yeah, we're
deliver
definitely
on
going to do that. Yeah, that's absolutely going to happen. That is a concrete promise.
Correct.
As sure as I'm a mop. That's definitely happening.
Yeah. Okay. That's the show for this
It's
week.
the show.
Where can people find us?
You can find us on Weekly Planet Pod on Facebook and Gmail and Twitter and Bandcamp. We got to do another commentary.
I know we do, yeah.
Do
Well,
that.
Claire's back this week.
Oh, good.
I can go back to having some sleep as opposed to no sleep. so-
Fantastic.
And we also got to do the Q&A.
Yeah, we'll do the Q&A.
So that's priority number one.
That's priority number one.
So, yeah.
Priority number two, hunt somebody for sport.
Yes.
Once we're done with that, either both of us or whoever lived
Yeah.
and the person who defeated us
Yes.
will do the commentary for
Correct.
the next movie. Yeah. Also, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies if
Yep.
you want to chuck in like $1 or $2 a month. If
The
you want to do
caravan
that.
of garbages will be going up early there. I mean,
Nice.
yeah.
What else? We're thinking about doing some like a little bit of bonus stuff or a little bit more bonus stuff on there.
Yeah.
We'll do maybe
Well,
some
hopefully.
some mailbag stuff
Yeah,
like
some-
that.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Don't donate now based on that alone because that is not confirmed in any way. Yeah.
You could also edit that out. Then no one would
Absolutely,
ever
okay.
know.
Yeah.
Also, you can go. We've got an Amazon affiliate link in the episode description. Click on there.
Yep.
If you want to buy Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension.
on 4K.
I always say that. Is 4K even a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Buy it on
4K
4K.
Blu-ray.
See all of Peter Weller's paws on 4K. See his little bow tie on 4K. See him do a parasail in 4K.
Oh, 4K.
Anyway, just click the link. You pay the same price as on Amazon, and we get a kickback somehow.
Yep.
Thank you to the Boot and Basilisk and Rackham for all our themes.
Yeah.
We got some teas on tpublic.com. You just search for Weekly Planet.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who gives it a bloody listen every once in a while.
Yeah.
Thanks to anybody who's new from that Guardian article. I hope we
Absolutely.
haven't let you down.
We have.
Regular listeners know they're gonna be let down,
Absolutely.
but you new guys,
now you know.
now you know. Now you know.
Now you know you know. Mm-hmm. Is that everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Next week, Transformers The Last Night. The fifth one's when they get good again, Mason.
That's what we always say, and it's worked once. Hooray!
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 All right, thanks for listening, guys.
Grab that Jimmy, guys. We'll see you next week.
Catch you later.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts.